Good New Year's Eve, everyone. Welcome back here to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. Welcome to my evening live stream here. Kind of the spur of the moment event. I definitely appreciate everybody joining here, and I apologize for the short time to get this live stream out. I was just posting it a little while ago, but I definitely wanted to get a live stream going today and possibly even tomorrow as well to kind of highlight the next major system moving through the United States. And we're going to start this morning, or this evening rather. Here, I'm all crazy with the time. Sorry about that. This evening with the alerts across the United States, especially across the west here, where we have all the snow alerts. We have winter storm watches all across portions of the central and northern plains, getting up here toward the Twin Cities area. Those are in the blue shaded colors here. We could be expecting some significant snow across portions of Minnesota, getting into northwestern Wisconsin, northwestern Iowa, getting back through the Rapid City area here, or just to the south of Rapid City with those winter storm watches. We have converted over to winter storm warnings in the pink shaded colors across western and northwestern Nebraska, getting through Wyoming, the front range here of the Rockies as well, and also portions of the west, the Salt Lake City area, southern Idaho, getting back through Nevada and the higher elevations there of the Sierra Nevadas, and also Arizona. So a lot of alerts out there, guys. And I'll also do want to note that those purple shaded areas that you do see are winter weather advisories. Now moving back to the west, across California, you see all these darker greens and lime green shaded colors. In the lime green, that is an aerial flood warning. That does mean that there are low-lying areas with flooded roadways or even flooded ditches and stuff like that that you do want to avoid. That's why there is an aerial flood warning across those areas. And then the flash flood watches, or flood watches in general, are across the dark green areas, especially the western coast here of California, places like Sacramento, even getting down toward the Los Angeles region as well. So thank you guys so much for joining me here this evening. I definitely appreciate it. If you guys are just joining and have not yet pressed the like button, press that like button down below. It is that thumbs up button here in the live stream. I definitely appreciate it. And let's see here. We're going to go over lots of things here in this live stream today. We're going to go over the storm impacts. We're going to start off actually with the severe weather side of this system, because that is going to be the talk of the system here over the next few days, especially going into early next week with the severe weather outbreak that does loom across portions of the southern plains and the deep south here. So let me get a little bit more situated here and we will get started with that. So let's go here first to the this is the satellite. Actually, this is the water vapor imagery and kind of the satellite here just above the United States, and you can see that system moving into the desert southwest here and California. You can see lots of water vapor here moving in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and that is all that moisture being squeezed out in the form of heavy rain, flooding rain, and even some mountain snow across the west here, especially in those higher elevations there, the Sierra Nevada and California, and those higher elevations across Nevada and the Salt Lake City area as well. That will be trekking its way farther off to the east and southeast over the next couple of days. And what we are seeing here, I'm going to go over here to Tropical Tidbits. You guys can follow along with me as well. If you guys want to go to tropicaltidbits.com, you guys have access to all of the weather models on there, from the American GFS to the Canadian model, even to the European model, and even the German model, which is actually the ICON model as well. Multiple climate models and other ensembles as well. And again, you can find that at tropicaltidbits.com. So looking here at the GFS, this is the American guidance here. You can see this is the upper levels of the atmosphere. You can see that trough in the blue shaded colors. I know it's kind of tough to see, but you can see the blue shaded colors across California. That is as we speak going in towards Sunday morning. This is starting 2023 off here, with that trough digging in across California, bringing all of that unsettled weather across the southwestern United States. But watch as we forward this here into Sunday evening. This is the 6 o'clock time frame here on January 1st, 2023, and that trough will dig all the way far south to the Baja of California and in toward the Phoenix area in southern California, and that's going to be bringing some very heavy rain, flooding rain to places like Los Angeles, Las Vegas, maybe even toward the Phoenix area, because you guys will be on the the warm side of this system in the desert areas. But in those higher elevations, we could be talking about some heavier mountain snow. That cold core aloft with this low pressure system will provide with the heavy several feet of snow, especially into the Salt Lake City area with those winter storm warnings I was showing you, and then getting across places like northern Nevada and the Sierra Nevadas as well into California, and that will spread its way east-northeast bound towards the northern and central plains with those winter storm watches. Many of those areas here, I'll go back to that now, many of these areas will actually turn back, I think, over to winter storm warnings, especially into South Dakota, northwestern Iowa, getting through the Twin Cities region, and far northwestern Wisconsin as well. And again, we've already started to see that turnover to winter storm warning products here from the local National Weather Services across places like western and northwestern Nebraska, and then getting back across the Rockies here into the Front Range of Colorado. So we're going to continue to watch that moving forward. So let's look here further at the GFS. As this trough digs in across the southern United States, you see how it tries to take more of a neutral to negative tilt. And what I mean by that is that if it's a neutral tilt, we really don't have the system occluding too much. It's kind of just sitting there here. Just think of yourself sitting straight up in a chair, and that's kind of what the trough is looking like as we head into Monday around the noon time frame on January 2nd. But as this system takes a little bit of a negative tilt, as it ejects into the mid-Mississippi Valley and the Midwest, and what I mean by a negative tilt now, see, if you're sitting straight up in a chair and then you suddenly fall over because, the chair is off balance or something like that, that's kind of what a negatively tilted trough is. It kind of falls over on itself, and the system occludes. With that occluding system, you have some severe weather. And then again, on the northwestern side, a big snowstorm that will break out, which we will talk about here shortly. And sometimes even in between, you have those ice storm events. And again, we'll go over all of that here in this live stream as well. So let's first, like I said, look at the severe weather threat with this system, because I do really think that is there in a big way. Let's go here towards Monday afternoon. This is about, Monday afternoon, Monday evening. Look at the eastern 2/3 of the country. This is the 2-meter temperature anomaly, which are the temperatures that we feel here at the surface. And yes, you see all these bright reds and pinks showing up across the eastern 2/3 of the United States and eastern Canada. This system is going to tap into all of this heat and humidity as we head in towards later on Monday. And we're going to be talking about temperatures that are not only 10, 15, or 20 degrees above normal, but some areas could be getting close to record territory if we get to the maximum temperature across the Gulf Coast, the coastal Texas here in Florida, as we head in towards Monday evening. We'll see how that works out. And then even going into the day on Tuesday, this system will be pulling up a lot of warmth and moisture all the way to the north into the Ohio Valley, the Northeast, and Eastern Canada. And as it does so, there's going to be a sharp gradient on the backside. That's that cold front. And again, that's going to be providing that fuel and lift for these thunderstorms as they move east. And again, that severe weather outbreak will ensue across the eastern 2/3 of the United States, especially across the southern plains, the Dixie Alley region, and getting across the southeast going into early next week, particularly on Monday, January 2nd and Tuesday, January 3rd. So let's kind of zoom into this a little bit more and show you what I'm exactly trying to say here and what we're talking about. I did zoom in far enough so we can see the southern United States, and let's just kind of look at what the GFS is showing us here. Let's first look at the temperatures in closer view here and what we are seeing. We are seeing temperatures rising into the, rising through the 60s, getting into the lower 70s. And guys, look at this, middle to upper 70s, very much so likely as we get into central, southern Louisiana and coastal Texas here. I wouldn't even be surprised if places like Houston or the Corpus Christi areas down here into Texas hit the 80-degree mark as we get into Monday afternoon around the noon time frame here, according to the GFS model. We're going to pull that 60-degree line all the way up into southern Illinois, central Missouri, and even southeastern Kansas with that warm front. That warm front will lift up into the middle Mississippi Valley, and it is all fair game south of that warm front with that warm sector here, with the temperatures rising into the 60s and into the 70s. And then we're going to go down here and look at the dew points, because that is very impressive as well. Already at noon on January 2nd, those dew points will be very close to your air temperature. So we're going to see dew points into the 50s out there, all the way up here into the Illinois Valley. We're going to see 60-degree dew points getting up here into southern portions of Missouri, the foothills of Missouri, southern Illinois, southeastern portions of Kansas. Again, along and south of that warm front is fair game for severe weather. And then as well as we get farther south into the Arklatex here, Texarkana, Shreveport, Little Rock, Jackson, Mississippi, New Orleans, the I-35 corridor on east here from the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex on east, Tyler, Texas, Houston, all of these areas, just to name a few, are going to be in that deep warm sector and moist sector with the dew points rising into the 60s out there and even the near 70 degrees going into later on Monday. And this is really only on Monday at noon. Let's fast forward this here with the dew points at 6 o'clock, and you see that warm front is on the move. It's going to be moving up to central Illinois by then, the Iowa-Missouri line. So again, this warm front is going to be lifting north in a big way, and then this system will continue to move east. And then look at the dew points behind this system. This is going to be a sharp cold front. We're going to drop those dew points back that were in the 60s on Monday back to the 30s and 20s here off to the northwest Texas, Oklahoma, and southeastern Kansas, going into that 6 o'clock in the morning time frame here on January 3rd, which is Tuesday, January 3rd. And then that cold front will continue to drag its way off to the east. And again, we're going to say goodbye to that severe weather threat, at least for the southern plains and the Arklatex, as we head into Tuesday afternoon. And then that severe weather threat will push off to the east. So let's look at the model depiction of the GFS. We're going to take a look at several different models to see where the agreements are and where the disagreements are here. So let's first look at the global guidance before we jump into the NAM model and the RGEM model, which are more of the mesoscale models to kind of depict where some of these storms are and the storm structures. So let's first look at the American GFS, which we're on now. We have a 998 millibar low that is going to be developing on the lee side of the Rockies and getting into western Kansas. And again, this is at noon time frame on Monday, January 2nd. And we start to see some scattered showers develop across portions of the Arklatex, getting into southeastern Oklahoma here, the I-35 corridor in Texas on eastward. So places like Little Rock, Texarkana, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, getting down toward Houston, and then the Shreveport area as well. That's around noon time frame. But as we fast forward through the afternoon and into the evening, you can see on the global guidance, and I do understand that the global guidance does not show the the higher resolution of this, but it does give you a good picture that where some of these thunderstorms will be. And on the GFS model, the American model, it does show this across the Arklatex, maybe as far north as southern Missouri. It really just depends on how far north this warm front gets, but we're definitely concerned, I think, about that Little Rock area on southwestward here, the southern flank of this system, with all that moisture drawing up out of the Gulf of Mexico I was showing you, and all of those temperatures. We are going to be in for a potential severe weather outbreak going into the day on Monday. Let's look at some of the chat here before I keep moving along. Hello to Ohio. Hello to Rain Maves. Tina, thank you for joining from Ohio. Rico says, thank you, sir. You're very welcome. Mia says, heyo. Well, hello, Mia. Thank you for joining. A thunderstorm season, well, this is a late season event, so this is pretty rare for this time of year, that is for sure. Susie says, hello from Northern Kentucky. Well, thank you for joining from Northern Kentucky. Definitely appreciate it here this evening. Finders Keeper says, no, there's no geoengineering with this system, my friend. There's no weather manipulation. I don't want to be hearing any of that nonsense in this live stream. That's not what's going on here. Blake says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. And Half Baked says, Happy New Year's, everyone, from Gulfport, Mississippi. Well, hello from Gulfport, Mississippi, and Happy New Year's to you as well. And Sharon says, hello. Hello, Sharon. Thank you for joining. Allie just says, hey, from Louisiana. Hello from Louisiana. And if you live in Louisiana, you do want to pay attention to this weather forecast and live stream, because we have some severe weather, potentially significant severe weather on the way these next few days, getting into the early portion of the week. If you guys are just joining the live stream, press that like button down below, guys. Hit that like button as much as you can to get more weather information on this. Again, you can follow my videos here. I post a video around 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time every single morning, and you guys can check that out. I have a new video, including your January step-by-step weather forecast through the month of January tomorrow morning, so you guys can check that out on my YouTube channel as we get through the mid-morning hours tomorrow. All right, so let's get back here to what we were talking about, and I'll get back to the chat here momentarily again. I know a lot of you guys will probably have questions and comments, concerns. I'll get to those, I promise you guys, here shortly. But again, keep pressing the like button. If you guys have not subscribed and you have not yet, hit the subscribe button. It's free to do, and you get all of my daily weather forecast updates. Hit the notification bell to get all of my weather forecast updates and live streams in the future. I definitely appreciate it. So let's keep going here with the GFS. It does have a flavor of a squall line somewhere across the Dixie Alley region in the Arklatex. And this particular model, it shows it up here across portions of southern Illinois, getting through the Missouri Valley here, the foothills of Missouri, down through portions of Little Rock. Now let's compare this with the Canadian model, and it has the placement of this very similar. And you know what I do kind of take out of this is that the southern end of the squall line is probably going to be the most intense. Now, why I say that is if you look at the upper level winds here and how they kind of curl around on the southern end of this squall line here, you see how it's kind of parallel up to the north with this squall line here. We have more of a push on the southern end of the squall line. It's not as parallel, and that means this is going to be moving along a little bit faster. The system on the northern side is going to be more of a heavy rainmaker, and we're going to be seeing more of the slowing down of the rainfall and the storms up here. Not to say there's not a couple of storms that could have severe warnings outside of the general, severe weather outlook here, but I do think the main severe weather mode will be across East Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, western Tennessee here, and perhaps even eastern portions of Oklahoma going into Monday. Again, that curving of that jet stream in the upper levels is very concerning for large swaths of damaging winds that could be widespread, that could be over 70 miles per hour with some of the kinematics I was looking at here. We'll get through those. And then again, we're looking at some large hail potential. I'm not too over the moon about the large hail potential right now because we just don't have a lot of instability out there, but enough to produce at least some medium-sized hail, perhaps that quarter to $half size hail. I just don't think we're going to be seeing those monstrous, baseball, softball, grapefruit-size hailstones. We're not going to be seeing that, but definitely still quarter-size hail to $half size hail, and you never know. Maybe even some golf ball-size hail at times could still do lots of damage to vehicles, the roofs out there, and a lot of other things. So still want to take that seriously. And when you combine that with widespread damaging winds, that could be dangerous. But we also have to look at this with the tornado potential. And this is what you call the 850 millibar winds. And you can see this is what we also call the low level jet. So at the low levels here, just about 1,000 to 2,000 feet above our heads is what we call a low level jet. And it's going to be screaming straight out of the Gulf of Mexico across the Arklatex and the deep south here at around 60, 70 knots, and this is pretty concerning because this is anomalously high for this time of year for that low-level jet to be that strong. And as we push along farther here to the east, again, it's on the northeastern side of your screen. I know I kind of have to probably move this. Let me move this and kind of show you the general overview. You can see across the Ohio Valley that, yes, we have a 70 to 80 knot mid-level jet, and this is not at the surface. This is just a few thousand feet up, but it does give you that signal that, yes, it's going to be strong enough to produce some tornadoes out here, especially with that shear that I was talking about on the southern end of this system. You got the low-level jet coming out of the south, the mid and upper-level jet coming out of the southwest, and then the winds, I believe, that are at the surface should be coming out of the south and east here, and they are at some spots coming out of the south-southeast, and that will create the turning of and also the speed shear with direction and height. So definitely want to keep in mind of that going through the day on Monday. And this looks to be the peak of this event. Why it's so concerning is it's going to be an overnight threat for severe weather. So you want to have multiple ways to receive warnings, whether it's a weather radio or your local TV station. Us here on YouTube, a lot of the YouTubers that are covering the weather out here can help you out as well. Whether it's social media such as Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook or anything like that, definitely get a lot of ways to get warnings out there, whether it's a severe thunderstorm warning, a tornado warning, a severe thunderstorm watch, or a tornado watch, or anything in between. Some special weather statements as well. You guys can download what's called Radar Omega. It's definitely a great weather app. It has a lot of great features on there. You can see live storm chaser coverage coverage, a live radar as well. A lot of different great features on that you can read up on. And it's just a small fee, I think $7 or $8, but it's definitely worth it, guys. It's a one-time fee, and you guys will not be left in the dark about this threat with that app. That is for sure. Definitely a lot of great features on the app, so I definitely highly recommend Radar Omega. Go check that out. Again, it's a one-time fee, about $7 or $8, I do believe, on that. So thank you guys so much for all the likes down below. Keep hitting that like button. Again, we're up to 24. Let's try and get to 100 likes within the next 5 minutes, guys. Let's see what we can do here. Definitely appreciate it here. Thanks for joining me here on New Year's Eve. I know we're just starting to get closer here on the East Coast towards New Year's Day. We're going to be watching that ball drop in New York City. And again, we're talking about the weather here and getting us ready for our next big storm across the center of the country early next week. So let's kind of move along a little bit farther here in what we are seeing with this system. So where this system originates is out west here, and you can see that it's dropped over the past 72 hours here. A lot of rainfall across north central California, and again, there's a lot more rainfall that is to come, especially here into Southern California, where we are still going to be talking about some few inches of rain, even into Los Angeles, back up here towards Sacramento and the Las Vegas area. So even though you see here's not really any colors in those areas now, does not mean it will stay that way. We're going to be seeing that fill in with some rainfall amounts in these areas over the next couple of days. We're also seeing the snowfall out there. Again, we're talking about that heavy mountain snow out west. This is the past 72 hours, and you can definitely see that it has snowed heavily across the Rocky Mountains here in the Colorado, higher elevations into northwestern New Mexico, northeastern Arizona, up toward the Salt Lake City area, getting up toward Boise, Idaho, western portions of Wyoming, Nevada here, and then again, the Sierra Nevadas have been crushed by very heavy snow, several feet of snow, and they will definitely get a lot of snow in the next couple of days there as well, as this storm system continues to bring that Pacific moisture in from the eastern Pacific Ocean. So let's get back here to some of the questions you guys have on chat. Again, the chat is open to anyone and everyone, so definitely press the like button down below, guys. Try and get to 100 likes. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Hit the notification bell as well. I do want to tell you guys that I do have super chats as well with this live stream. So if you guys want to donate to the channel, you guys can do so. Let me know if it's not working, and I'll try and fix that if it's not working on your end. If you guys are wanting to send anything, you guys do not have to send any money to me. I'm perfectly fine without that, but I'm just wanted to let you know that the super chat is open for anybody who wants to donate anything to the channel. So that is open to everybody that wants to do so. So let's first go over here to the outlook. This is the Storm Prediction Center's outlook. This is the one that came out here early this morning around, between 1 and 3 a.m. And this is a concerning level 3 of 5 in the orange shaded color. That is an enhanced risk for severe weather here across the southeast or the southern United States, getting into the southeast on Monday. This does cover Little Rock, Shreveport, down here into Texarkana, and along and well to the east here of I-35 into northeast Texas. So places like Tyler, Texas, you want to be on the lookout for that. And again, a couple of the counties here in extreme southeastern Oklahoma are in fact in that enhanced risk area, the level 3 of 5 for severe weather. And again, we have that slight risk extending farther back to the west, right along Dallas, Texas there on east. And again, into southeastern Oklahoma, this includes Houston, getting back down here through the Baton Rouge area, Alexandria, Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana, getting back into far western Mississippi, and then gets up toward the Memphis area as well with that slight risk. And then that marginal risk extends a little bit farther up to the north into south central Missouri, up towards St. Louis, and getting up there toward Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and portions there just to the east of Oklahoma City, and then up toward Tulsa, Oklahoma as well. And then this covers more of the Fort Worth area and towards central and northeast Texas. So we'll continue to watch this. This will be evolving in the days to come. There's going to be a lot more adjusting to this outlook. I do know that the Storm Prediction Center does a good job with these outlooks. I think the day 2 outlook will still probably have an enhanced risk as we go through the next couple of days. And it does look like that this is showing a possibility. I'm not discounting the chance that this could be upgraded to a moderate risk, especially when you consider the probabilistic here with this. Let's actually turn over to this here, I do believe. Okay, so yes, this is a 30% chance of severe weather weather in that enhanced risk area in that red shaded color here, again, including Little Rock, northwestern Louisiana, northeast Texas, and far southeastern Oklahoma. You see this kind of netting here, which is actually what we call a hatched area for severe weather. That is actually for portions of northeast Texas, northwestern Louisiana, southwestern Arkansas, and extreme southeastern Oklahoma. Again, just south and west of Little Rock, Shreveport, Louisiana, Texarkana, getting back here just to the east of I-35 in northeast Texas. This is for significant severe weather. This is a significant hatched area for severe weather. And what the Storm Prediction Center characterizes a significant hatched area for is for winds of 75 mile per hour or greater, hail that could be 2 inches in diameter or higher, or even EF2 or stronger tornadoes. So one or more of those impacts are possible, if not likely, into these areas in that significant hatched area here in the netting on this outlook. So we'll continue to watch that, how it evolves in the coming days. As that threat pushes east, this is the day 4 outlook. This is just a yellow shaded area. That is equivalent to a slight risk or a 15% shading within a 50-mile radius of your location. This includes farther to the east across Jackson, Mississippi, near the New Orleans area, maybe just to the north, and here down toward Mobile, Alabama, far northwestern panhandle of Florida, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, getting here into portions of the Atlanta metro area, and then perhaps up there toward Chattanooga into southern and southeastern Tennessee on Tuesday with that slight risk for severe weather. And if you can imagine here outlining this, there probably will be a marginal risk surrounding this area as well. That could be including central Georgia, more of northwest Florida, and perhaps even into the western Carolinas as we get into the day on Tuesday. So we'll continue to monitor that as we get a little bit closer. So let's get back here to the chat. Dawson says, I got told that this storm could bring flooding in Iowa. Is that right? Yes. There's a lot of heavy rainfall in Iowa, northern Illinois, and northern Indiana that is going to be on the way. Again, like I was mentioning earlier, with that upper level jet streak, it's going to be more parallel to the boundary. So you can think of a cold front as it moves from west to east across the United States here. And I'll go back to that to kind of show you what I'm talking about without just saying it. So let me go back here and let you kind of show you what I'm talking about. So looking at the 250 millibar winds. So you see here this is Monday evening, right? And you can see how the winds are parallel here. So think of a cold front from north to south oriented. So say the cold front, for example, is from eastern Iowa down through western Kansas, western Arkansas. And it's moving eastward. The cold front is going to be parallel with this upper level jet streak because it's going to be moving north-south along the boundary. See, on the southern end of this boundary, it's more curved with the jet stream, so it's going to have a little bit more of a push along the southern end of this system, whereas to the north, it's not going to have as much of a push. So that moisture will stick around for a longer period of time, which means that we're going to have more heavy rainfall here, and you can actually see that across that area as the system starts to occlude. It's going to be a chillier rain across portions of the Illinois Valley, getting through Iowa and portions of Missouri into southern Wisconsin as well, with that rain snow line staying up into central portions of Nebraska, southern Minnesota, into central portions of Wisconsin there. So hopefully that answers your question. Thanks for asking. Definitely appreciate it, Dawson. Looks like Ron says, hi from Pasadena, Maryland. Well, thank you for joining from Pasadena, Maryland. Definitely appreciate you joining this evening. Hit the like button if you have not already. Again, everyone joining, press the like button down below. It helps get all this information out to more and more people. I know a lot of people are out and celebrating the New Year's Eve and New Year's holiday plans out there. I appreciate everybody that's joining here this evening. Rico says, do you believe February will be the coldest month? Well, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. I will do a little bit of a deeper dive into the rest of winter at the end of this live stream, so stick around for that. But I do want to say that if you guys are thinking winter is over, you guys are mistaken. We still have all of January, all of February, and a lot of March even sometimes as well. Could be very cold and snowy. So we still have at least 2.5 months, I do think, of winter, of at least true winter left. So don't sleep on winter yet, guys, because we still have a long way to go. We're not even halfway through yet, because if you guys remember, winter, the first full day of winter was actually December 21st, which was roughly about a week or 10 days ago. So it's really not that far away from where we are at now, where we just started winter. So don't sleep on winter just yet. But yeah, I'll get to that here at the end of the live stream. Don't you guys worry about that. Let's see here. So Rico has thumbs up. Thank you so much. Allie says, what do you think could look like around the Anacoco, Louisiana area? I think, well, I'm not even sure where that is. So let me just look up. I'm not sure where that is. Let me look up where that is here on the map. I'm not familiar with that right now. Again, some of these smaller towns are kind of tricky, so I have to look up to see where they're at. It looks like that is western portions of Louisiana. So I would say if you live there, you are actually in a slight risk. You're in a slight risk for severe storms. So you're very close to the line between that slight and enhanced risk. And again, that enhanced risk could be adjusted here. So do be weather aware if you live there in the Anacoco area for Monday. We could be seeing some significant severe weather there or nearby with some damaging straight line winds over 60, 70 miles an hour, large hail up to around quarter, $half size, maybe a little bit larger than that, and possibly a few tornadoes. One or two of those tornadoes could be strong, long track EF2 or stronger type tornadoes going through the day on Monday and really peaking in intensity on Monday night. So we'll watch that. It's going to be an overnight nocturnal threat for severe weather. So we'll keep an eye on that as we get a little bit closer, guys. Again, the Storm Prediction Center is going to be updating this in the next couple of days. I do imagine they will stay with the enhanced risk for severe weather going into their day 2 outlook, which will come out around 1 a.m. Central Daylight Time. So just after the New Year's holiday commences, they're going to be coming out with their forecast for Monday on the day 2 outlook. I do think there's a possibility, just looking at this setup here, if anybody's wondering in the live stream or chat or anything like that, this could be upgraded to a level 4 or 5, a moderate risk. Is it likely right now? Probably not, but I do think it is possible, probably about a 50-50 shot at that, turning over to a moderate risk, if you guys are wondering out there. Chris says, what is the tornado threat for Tyler, Texas? It looks like Tyler, Texas, you guys are in that 30% hatched area for tornadoes. You're in the highest chance right now for tornadoes in Tyler, Texas out of the entire outlook area. So if you live in Tyler, Texas, be on high alert because there could be a strong long track tornado possibility there, damaging winds that could be over 60, 70 miles per hour and some large hail over quarter size going into especially Monday afternoon, Monday evening with those discrete supercells. And we'll be diving into those mesoscale models here after I answer some more questions here, just kind of going down the chat. Again, the chat is open to anyone and everyone, so definitely leave your comments, questions, and concerns down below. Try to get to everybody's chat here. Outdoors says, oh, you do... Yeah, I do live streams too, yes. So thank you so much for joining. Definitely appreciate it. Barbara says, Happy New Year's. Thank you so much for saying Happy New Year's, Barbara. Happy New Year's to you as well. Charles says, hello from, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. Is this system going to affect Canada? Yes, it is. It's actually going to be more of a snow event and an ice storm here for Canada. So let me actually show you that using the Canadian model here, for example. We're going to be seeing the snow actually spreading into portions of Canada. Now, where you see the rain up here in Canada, it's not going to be all rain. I do have fairly high confidence that a lot of this here where you see in the green, especially closer to where you see the green and blue kind of moving very close to each other up here, probably going to be a zone, at least a narrow zone of sleet and freezing rain, kind of an ice storm type of setup at times across southeastern Canada here. And there's a possibility that there could be a couple tenths of an inch, maybe even up to a quarter of an inch of ice in some of these areas, depending on how much ice accretion there is, how much cold air is available. We're still trying to figure that out as we go into early in the week. It looks like much of the cold air, if we look at the surface here, is going to be pretty shallow, even across southeastern Canada. So it's going to be very close to see whether or not we get all types of precipitation. You could have rain for 1 hour, you could have snow for the next, and then just a mixture of all different precipitation types the hour after that. So it's going to be kind of tough to figure out where that will lie out at, but we'll continue to try and accurately give you that information as we get it in here with some of the new weather forecast guidance coming in this evening. Great question, though. Joe says, how bad of a storm is this going to be for Omaha, Nebraska? Omaha, Nebraska. That's right on the line between Iowa and Nebraska there. It does look like, here, let's go through all the models real quick showing Omaha here. Let's start with the GFS actually. And you can see for Omaha, Nebraska, the GFS is showing that freezing line getting very close there. It looks like you're mainly on the rain side of this system. Usually on the northwest side of these lows, you have the colder air wrapping around on the back side, the sleet, freezing rain, and snow moving in with that shallow to deeper cold air. So that's what we see. But the warmer air will probably win out, especially when you take into account that there's probably not a lot of snowfall on the ground in Omaha, Nebraska right now, if I'm correct. So let me know about that, because if there's not, it's not going to be hard for temperatures to rise quicker than there would be if there was snow on the ground. Because you got to remember, if there's snow on the ground, the temperatures aloft could be colder to support snow on the way down from the cloud itself. But then as it reaches toward the surface, those temperatures could be remaining just marginal enough to produce maybe sleet, freezing rain, or all rain. So we'll continue to watch that. It just depends on how shallow that cold air is there. Omaha is going to be a tough call, at least on the GFS model. The Canadian guidance still showing rain, so I'm probably going to lean more rain for Omaha. You're going to be very close to that freezing line, so a little 50-mile jog to the south with this low pressure system could mean the difference between a half an inch to an inch of rain, or a tenth of an inch or two of ice and snow. So it really is the difference with this track of this system. So we'll continue to monitor that going forward. Again, of course, all the severe weather will be on the southern side of this. And let's look at the icon model here just for the fun of it and see what I mean. See, Omaha is actually getting on the icon model, starts off as rain and then transitions over to a pocket of heavy snow on the back side. And if I look at the possible accumulations here, it shows Omaha getting near 6 inches. So it's just a big difference here. Whether or not the system tracks farther south by 50 to 75 miles, or if it tracks farther north. So if it tracks north, you're going to see heavier rain and more rumbles of thunder. If it tracks farther south, you're going to see more snow and ice and all that stuff. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Omaha is pretty close to that line, that is for sure. Hopefully that answers your question. Thanks so much. Again, if you guys are just joining, press the like button down below, the notification bell, and also that subscribe button. It's that button down below, that red button. Again, super chats are open here on this live stream. If you guys want to donate to the channel, you do not have to. I'm just letting you know that is out there and ready to go if you guys want to donate. That is very much up to you. Looking here at Polfus says, do you ever get the weather right? Well, the weather is tricky. So when people always criticize the meteorologists out there and climatologists and stuff like that and say you guys are always wrong. Well, when you're looking at computer model data, the computer model data can also be wrong. And that's what we base a lot of our heavier weight, especially with the bigger storm systems, on is computer data. And just a little difference in the track of a system with the computer data could mean the difference between a foot of snow and no snow. And it really means the difference. And that's why we look at the computer models as a guide. It's not generally to be taken verbatim. It is just taken to say, okay, the synoptic setup is favorable for X, Y, or Z. It's not really showing you like this spot's going to get 8 inches, this spot's it's just showing you the general big picture. Now, if we look at something called the Mesoscale model, then it shows you a little bit higher resolution, but it's not even perfect there either. And that's why meteorology is a job, because if we got the weather right all the time, there wouldn't be a meteorologist that needs to give you the weather. So, and that's why I find it exciting, and that's why I try to do videos every single morning for you guys at 9 a.m. in the morning and live streams to keep you ahead of all the storms out there. So I don't criticize your comment there. I'm just saying that a lot of people think that meteorologists are they never get the weather right and they're always wrong, and it's tough. It's a tough job, especially when you get all these big storms moving through and you got to deal with the snowpack here and taking that into account. Because like I said earlier, the ground, if you have, for example, like if we lay down, look at the icon model here. If we lay down 6 to 8 inches of snow in Omaha, Nebraska, and then we have another storm that comes in across the southern United States, and then we have another snow setup on the northwest side, who's to say that that snowpack will still be there by the time that storm moves through? And that snowpack could make the air colder at the surface for that area because it's still there versus it being farther north. So it really is a big, tricky type of setup, especially this time of year with that snow line, until we get a true Arctic air mass or a true snowpack farther south to where we could say, okay, it's just going to be all snow or ice and stuff like that. So that's kind of my thinking of it anyway. Yeah, Joe says no snow on the ground in Omaha, Nebraska, and I didn't think you were, Joe. I didn't think you were, but yeah, no snow on the ground in Omaha, Nebraska. So thank you very much for the report. Yeah, so if there's no snow on the ground in Omaha, Nebraska, I have a lot of confidence that I'm probably going to toss out the Icon model, and I'm going to lean more to the GFS and the European and even the Canadian model at this point. And it's showing all rain into portions of the Omaha area. So I'm leaning rain. I ain't gonna say that I'm not gonna say that there's gonna be any snow on the backside. There could be some flurries and snow showers, but I'm leaning more rain for Omaha, Nebraska with this system. You're very welcome, Joe. Thanks for joining. Danny says, what about the temperatures in Illinois? Will winter appear? I'm still wondering, man. I'm still in northern Illinois, and we have no snow on the ground. We actually had a couple of inches about a few days ago that actually melted because it reached 62. Actually, the high a couple of days ago reached 62, and the high temperature was only supposed to be 56. So it overachieved, and it goes back to what I was just telling you guys, is that when you have no snow on the ground this time of year, even in January, when you see a high of 48 degrees, sometimes, not always, but sometimes those temperatures can overachieve, and you could have highs in the mid 50s when it only says upper 40s here, say on the Weather Channel app or something like that, or just looking at these models here. Sometimes those temperatures can be conservative, and that snowpack goes a long way in sometimes predicting those temperatures this time of year. That is for sure. Let's see. Rachel says, what about Killeen, Texas for the severe weather? Let me look up and see where that is. I believe it's Killeen, Texas. Again, if you guys want to correct me on that, again, I'm from the Midwest, so I apologize if I butcher some of the names out here of the cities. It looks like just north of Austin. It looks like mainly off to your east is the main severe weather area. So mainly off to the east, you're right on that line between that 2% shading here, or 5% shading here, sorry, for some severe weather, and that'll be off to your east. So mainly don't have to worry too much about that. The initiation zone for the severe weather will be right over or just east of your area there from Austin to Fort Worth on eastward. Generally along and east of I-35 in Texas, especially northeast Texas, is where we're going to see the most severe weather, I think, with this system. That's with that 15 to 30% hatched area for severe storms, with significant severe weather in that hatched area from southwestern Arkansas, northwestern Louisiana, northeast Texas, and far southeastern Oklahoma here. And that is where we see the potential for a couple long track, strong tornadoes, EF2 strength or larger, and also the damaging winds that could be widespread, 60 to 70 plus miles per hour, and the quarter size hail or larger in those areas as well. So we'll continue to watch that. Again, I think mainly the Storm Prediction Center did put this out for damaging winds over 75 miles an hour and strong tornadoes. I am very confident that it's not for hail that over 2 inches in diameter. We just don't have the instability here built up for that type of hail going into the day on Monday, but still could be some pretty large hail out there, so still want to watch it going into that time frame. Again, everybody joining, press the like button down below. Let's get this over 100 likes. Let's keep getting more people here into the live stream. So every time you press the like button or you subscribe or you hit the notification bell, you help out this channel and getting more people to this live stream. Let's get all this weather information out to more and more people, guys. Everyone in the live stream right now, if you have not yet hit 3 of those buttons, trust me, it is the easiest thing you will do on this channel. You press 3 buttons: the like button, thumbs up button down below, you hit the subscribe button, it's free to do, and again, hit the notification bell to get all these live streams and weather videos that I post every morning on this channel. And again, you're good to go. You're in. You get all of my weather updates. All right, so again, I'm going to keep going through the chat because I know you have a lot of questions out there still. It looks like, let me go back up here because I lost my place. My bad, guys. Looks like Mackenzie Nelson says, we have no snow in lower Michigan. Yes, a lot of that snowpack did melt going back towards that time frame as well. And I did want to give you this. This is on Tuesday, guys. This is Tuesday, the day 4 outlook. This is a slight risk in the yellow for those areas. So if you live in those areas, that's a slight risk on Tuesday. Yeah, okay. So yeah, there's no snow in lower Michigan. Yes, the snow did melt. You just shared my channel. Thanks so much, Rico. Mackenzie says it would not be it it would be nice to have some snow. Winter's not as good this year. Well, don't sleep on winter, guys, because trust me, we just started winter technically just 10 days ago on the 21st of December. We still have all of January, all 31 days of January, all 28 days of February, and even at least half of March, going up to March 15th or 20th as well. And there's even been snow in April as well. I remember a couple of bigger snowstorms in April and ice storms and stuff like that that happened. So don't sleep on winter just yet, guys. We have a long, long ways to go. And like I always say to myself too, it's like I look out my window and I see no snow on the ground, and I say to myself, well, man, where is all this cold and snow at? Well, it's up to the north. It just hasn't moved south out of Canada or the Arctic areas yet into the North Pole or Siberia, and it's just waiting to drop south. But once it happens, it's going to be like a light switch, guys. We're going to flip right to winter. And again, it only takes one or two snows or one or two big ice events to create an entire broad scale big system for the United States. And what I mean by that is it only takes one storm to drop 2 feet of snow, and all of a sudden your winter is caught up on with the snowfall, the average snow that you get. So say your average of snow is 28 inches, and then you get 20 inches in one storm. Well, there you go. You only need 8 more inches for the rest of winter. So that could only happen in 1 week. So again, don't sleep on winter quite yet. I don't know what is going on here with the chat. Let me see here. Okay, so all right. Looks like Max says, I'm ready for spring. Yeah, well, we all are. It actually will feel like spring this upcoming week across the eastern 2/3 of the United States. Here, let me show you this actually here. If you guys are just joining, this is the anomalies here we're talking about going into early this week. And look at the surge of warmth. This is going into Tuesday afternoon, not only for the eastern 2/3 of the country of the United States, but all of eastern Canada will be at least 10 to 20 degrees or more above average as we head into Tuesday, January 3rd for temperatures. So it's going to feel like spring out there. You're going to step out the door in the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, the East Coast, from Maine all the way to Florida, and say, "Wow, this is some nice warm weather here." And it's kind of rare for January standards. So again, yeah, there's a lot of warm weather coming up from the south going through early this week, setting up then that's why we're seeing this severe weather potential. You're ready for winter? Yeah, well, it's still coming, guys. Just be patient. Winter is coming. Again, I know I keep saying that. And a lot of meteorologists out there keep saying, "Well, it's coming. It's coming. The winter is getting here." But it will be here eventually. And trust me, once it does come in, I think it's going to be here for quite a while. So, be ready for that. I'm having an early start to spring this year, Rain Mave says. Well, yeah, there you go. You got some warmer weather coming your way here in the next few days. Chad says, it can snow in Michigan in July, huh? Well, I don't know about that, but I don't know about July, but I don't think it can snow in Michigan in July. I haven't, at least I'm not aware of that, but Max says, "Oh yeah, never mind. I'm in Northwest Indiana. That's great news." Yeah, there you go. There you go. Northwestern Indiana, you got some spring-like warmth. And if I transition this is just a model, guys. Don't take this verbatim. But yeah, low 60s are a possibility going in towards Tuesday afternoon for Northwestern Indiana there. So that's around the noon time frame on January 3rd. Moon says, no snow for New Jersey anytime soon. I will tell you guys, and I know a lot of you guys in the Northeast have been wondering and wondering and wondering about the nor'easter potential here. So let us actually transition here now that you know about the severe weather a little bit more across the deep south, and kind of talk a little bit more about what to expect the rest of winter and what to expect into January, and where's the snow? Where's the cold air? Let's talk about that here right now. So let's back this out to the North American view here and show you the jet stream real quick. because this is pretty interesting here. So early this week, you see how the jet stream's moving down across the eastern Pacific Ocean and then diving down across California here into almost northern Mexico. That is what we call a Pacific jet stream or a subtropical jet across the southern United States. And usually when we get a subtropical jet across the southern United States and it gets strong enough, that will bring all that moisture in from the East Pacific Ocean. And then if we get a storm system to move up the East Coast and we have enough cold air on the backside, that's where we'll see the very heavy snow break out across parts of the Northeast. We just haven't seen that yet, and we will not see that this week, especially even though we have the warmer temperatures. We're still not going to see a nor'easter here this week. Let's fast forward this on the GFS model going into the end of the week, and you can still see that, yeah, there's a little bit more of a subtropical jet feeding in across the Northeast, but the warm air will be there. So it's going to be rain. It's not going to be snow across the Northeast this week. And then again, another storm will be diving in across the West Coast, slamming into Washington State, Oregon, California, Nevada here. And that's going to be bringing more heavy snowfall, more heavy rain and flooding across the West Coast late in the week, again on January 5th. And then going all the way towards the middle of the month. This is where it gets a little interesting, guys. Okay, so let's look at the middle of the month here. We got a little kink in the jet stream south of the Aleutian Islands here, according to the GFS model. Again, this is one model, so let's not take this verbatim, just showing you a trend. And you can see a little bit more of a dip in the jet stream across the desert Southwest. That is an area we'll watch for low pressure cyclogenesis going in towards this next weekend, Saturday, January 7th and Sunday, January 8th time frame. And you can see a stronger subtropical jet, kind of more zonal from west to east across the southern United States. But watch as we get into the following week how that lifts up a little bit more towards the northeast with the low. Now, does that mean we get a nor'easter? Possibly. The guidance is still kind of hinting at a potential, but it's not really all there. I mean, it lifts it up into eastern Canada. So even through the middle of January on this model, it's not really showing a true nor'easter. But I do want to say going into the middle of January, it is showing a nor'easter going right off the coast here of Cape Cod, getting in towards, the northwestern Atlantic Ocean. And by then, we could have enough cold air coming down from Canada on the backside of this system to potentially see some heavy snow into the portions of the Northeast, including New Jersey, including Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts, and New York State, and Pennsylvania, and all these areas across the Northeast. But again, we just have to be patient in seeing what these trends in the models do show. So if I go back here to the Canadian guidance, just another opinion here, it doesn't really show that cold air up into Canada here. You can see how the GFS is showing that cold air farther up into northern Canada, but on the Canadian guidance, it shows it actually as warmer air, so at that same the very same time frame. So it's just kind of back and forth on whether or not we will see that. Again, it's a couple weeks out, but I do want to tell you guys, just over the past few days, the model guidance has been a little bit more bullish on the polar vortex starting to split or at least get disrupted again. And usually when that occurs, it takes 2 weeks for that to move down through the mid latitudes and then eventually here in towards our area here that we live in. And it takes a while. So it's up in the stratosphere, but eventually it makes its way south to where we live here into the United States and the portions of southern Canada. And by the time that happens, it could be 2 weeks from now, but we could have that as we get towards that time frame. And again, if we do, then yes, we could have some bigger snow events here. And let's kind of look at this going toward the middle of the month. About 2 weeks away, we might have a split, almost a split in the polar vortex. You see how we have a very cold lobe of low pressure up here into the northwestern Arctics, and then you have another colder lobe here kind of across portions of northern and eastern Canada. One of those lobes of low pressure will try and move southward toward the upper Great Lakes and southeastern Canada enough to where we could have a lot of that cold air moving in for at least a brief period of time to the northeast. And if we have a low pressure system underneath that, then yes, we could have some heavy snow going into the middle of January. But I am not currently seeing anything crazy for any big snow on at least through the next 2 weeks here in January. So if you guys want any snow in really much of the United States here, especially eastern 2/3 of the United States, going through January 10th, 12th timeframe, I'm just not seeing it. Maybe a nickel and dime type of snow event with an inch here or an inch there, but I'm not seeing any big, massive snowstorms across the eastern 2/3 of the United States really through the middle of January, to be honest with you. Fire says, where is the best place to be during the storm? Are you talking about severe weather? Well, if you are having tornado warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings, you want to stay away from windows and stay in the most, if you don't have a basement, the most interior room and away from windows as you can. If it's a bathtub, put a mattress over your head, have a bicycle helmet ready. Those are some key ways to stay safe here from tornado and tornadic winds. If you don't have a basement, especially if the bathtub is in like the center location of your home and the most interior location as well, away from windows, you guys also would probably want to wear some shoes, because after, if you would imagine, we probably could have some instances where we have debris cleanup. If you have an actual tornado, to where you don't want to be stepping on nails and screws and debris and all that stuff. So you definitely want to have shoes on or some type of steel plated boots to stay safe out there from that. No, I know, Chad. Yeah, I know. I know it was a joke. I took it as a joke. I was just saying. I was just saying. Michigan is no, and not in July. No, but it would be interesting if that happened. You never know. Years and years down the road. Um, Matthew says light mist in western Mojave, the Mojave Desert in Southern California, very resistant to rain. Okay, so yeah, there, a lot of the desert areas are not used to all that rain out there. That's what he's saying, and yeah, there's a lot of mist and a lot of rain out there, creating some ponding on the roadways and those low-lying areas such as ditches and creeks and riverbeds and stuff like that are definitely filling up fast with the water out west with all that rain and snow that they're having. Again, guys, keep pressing that like button down below. Hit the notification bell, subscribe as well. Again, I'll have a new forecast video coming up tomorrow morning, guys. You do not want to miss it. A great weather forecast video tomorrow. We're going to be outlining all of January. We're going to break it down week by week through January here. And we're going to show you what to expect. I'm going to show you what to expect through January. Rain says a mild January. I love it. That's great. Well, yeah, for now. It looks like toward the second half of January it could be a different story. But again, I'll have another update for you guys on the video in the morning. Moon says thank you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Thanks for joining so much. Definitely appreciate it. Logan says Happy New Year as well. Happy New Year, Logan. Thanks so much for joining this evening. Yeah, welcome to 2023, everybody. Here in just a few hours, we're going to be dropping the ball in New York City, and we're going to be joining 2023 here rather soon in the next few hours. So definitely a great time of year, that's for sure. Starting the new year off right. Hopefully with some less volatile weather. Hopefully that severe weather threat next week is less intense than what we think it is. Logan says, I go back to school on Tuesday. Well, there you go. If you live in the southeast on Tuesday, keep an eye out on the weather, Logan, for your severe weather potential going in towards Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, northwest Florida, and then southern and southeastern Tennessee during that time. We'll keep fine-tuning that here. Moon says, well, I will keep watching your channel for updates. We did get snow one year in April. Yes, I actually got snow. Actually, believe it or not, it didn't stick. The snow didn't stick to the ground, but I actually filmed a snow that was actually happening overnight. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was looking out my window and I said, what is that? And I looked outside and it's snowing. I think it was like May 9th of 2020 or 2021, and I had to film it. I filmed it by looking at the street light, and you could see the snowflakes coming down. It was kind of cool because it was early May, and you never think it's going to snow that late in the season, but it definitely did. So that was definitely interesting for sure. Logan says, "You're the man on YouTube for the winter. I want big snow. I'm in Washington County, Pennsylvania. I want 8 to 24 or yeah 8 to 24 inches of snow." Well, Maybe later on this winter. We'll have to wait and see. Again, there's a lot of things that have to come together for that. I think there's a lot of us could see some heavy snow. We just have to be patient here. Again, there's a lot of winter to go. We got all January, February, and early March to go yet, and even sometimes in April, like we've been talking about. Catherine says, health and happiness to all for 2023 and beyond. Thank you for the weather information. Well, thanks so much for leaving that comment, Catherine, and hope you have a great new year. Thanks for ringing in the new year with us here on the live stream. Definitely appreciate it. Logan says you want big snowfall. There's going to be some opportunities for some big snow. I think if you guys wait until the second half of January and going into February, usually when we see a lot of this cold air move south from that polar vortex that I'm showing you here, we're going to have some opportunities here for snow. Again, a lot of these models do struggle with the picking up the polar vortex disruptions and stretching and stratospheric warming events. So again, we'll be fine tuning some of this and my thoughts on this going forward. Again, tomorrow's video will outline this in a big way about what I think will happen through January. And we might take a brief look at early February as well in tomorrow's video. We'll just have to wait and see how much data comes in for that. Again, keep asking your questions. Keep putting questions, comments, concerns down in the chat. Again, it's open to anyone and everyone. Hit the subscribe button down below to get all my daily weather forecast updates. Same thing for the notification bell. And again, press the like button, guys. It gets all this weather information out here, kind of having more of a weather discussion this evening than anything else. So kind of taking your questions, comments, and concerns and all that stuff here this evening. That's kind of what we're doing. Catherine says our last frost date is May 15th. Is that an average last frost? I'm guessing that's what you mean. Before springtime, you're talking? That's the last frost before spring commences in your area? Moon says, now that I'm retired, no snow. When I was working and you were driving around for your job, snowstorms galore. Yeah, well, that usually happens, right? Usually how the cookie crumbles, as they call it, Fingers crossed. Just want everyone to stay safe, though. Yes, definitely stay safe from the severe weather, the cold, and all the upcoming snow and cold here for the rest of winter. Definitely. But yeah, imminently, yeah, stay safe from all the severe weather out there for sure, for sure. Is this one of the wettest winters on record? Probably for the West, to be honest with you. Once it's all said and done for the West Coast, it's going to probably be one for the record books potentially. I know for the lake effect snow is probably going to. It's already one for the record books. I know Buffalo has had a lot of heavy lake effect snow this year. I know that up here into western New York, here into towards the Watertown areas, had a lot of snow. The western coastline there of Michigan here and lower Michigan has had a lot of snow from Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo there, up toward the UP of Michigan had a lot of lake effect snow there near Lake Superior. So there's been a lot of snow. It just has been really confined to the north and across the lakes more than anything else. Let's see. National Weather Service Shreveport said a moderate risk upgrade is a possibility. Yes, I do. I do believe that is the case. I do think that there is a chance that it does get upgraded here to a moderate risk for severe storms. Again, in this red shaded color. Let me go back here. Actually, I can't. But anyway, this red shaded color is actually an enhanced risk. And this is just showing the probabilities of severe weather, but this is actually orange if you look at it on the normal categorical outlook. But in the red shaded color, that's actually an enhanced risk. We're just looking at the probability that actually normally would be orange, and then in the yellow that would be a slight risk, and then where you see the green that would here be a darker green as well. That would be a marginal risk. I do think somewhere across the Architects here, yes, the smaller moderate risk could be upgraded there, but that they wouldn't do that until probably later on in the day one outlook. To be honest with you, I don't think they're even going to do that in day two outlook for tomorrow. But we'll continue to watch it. We'll update you on that here as we go through tomorrow as well. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you guys can follow me on Twitter. The handle's down below. The Twitter handle down below in the description. You guys can follow me on there, like all my tweets and stuff like that. I tweet mostly every other day or so. I try to get more information on there as much as I can about the weather and stuff like that. So you guys can follow me on Twitter. Again, in the description below. Catherine says, "Will the Pineapple Express atmospheric river be great for alleviating the California drought?" Yes, actually, a very good comment there. Yes, it's going to be very good for the drought across California. I know there's a lot of drought in those areas. So if we kind of zoom this out, let's look across the west here, because we're specifically talking about California and the west. Look at all the moisture here as we go through with the precipitation. This takes us all the way through January 16th, and you can see this is some pretty heavy rain, and really this is going to mostly fall over the next 7 to 10 days, going through the 6th, 7th, and 8th time frame of January. And look at all the heavy rain in north central California. You're talking 6, 7, 8+ inches of rain, and some of this could be falling as very heavy snow, feet of snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains here. Definitely lots of snow in the watershed there. Yeah, it's going to be definitely some good news for the California with that severe, extreme, and exceptional drought. We're going to be seeing that be alleviated. It's not going to erase the drought by any means, but it's definitely going to be a step in the right direction to kind of getting closer to erasing that drought as we get towards the next year or so. It's kind of more of an El Nino pattern. That's kind of the pattern we're in right now. That's what we're seeing. More of an El Nino pattern than anything else. Again, yeah, we're just doing a live discussion here today. Nothing too crazy or, nothing too fancy tonight. Just kind of doing a live discussion. I just want to get on here, kind of a last minute decision to go live and kind of answer your questions. I know we have some severe weather coming up. I wanted to give you some information on who is going to see severe weather. Again, Northeast Texas, Southeastern Oklahoma, much of Arkansas, Southern Missouri, getting into Western Mississippi, and much of Louisiana on Monday. Be on alert for severe weather going into that time frame, because it does look like a higher end severe weather potential as we get through that time frame. So definitely stay tuned to that as we get closer. Again, I'm trying to pull up the chat again. I did lose it here. I'm reading the chat off my phone, and for some reason it just keeps on going out of the chat. I don't know why, but I am going to get it back up here so I can see more of your comments, questions, and concerns, and get that back up here. Just one moment, guys. I'm just about to pull it up. I have to refresh it every time. Yeah, I have to refresh it every time it goes in and out of that. Alrighty. Let's see if I can get it now. Okay, there we go. Now I got it back. The models are trending towards a stout capping inversion that will hold till afternoon and evening. Well, there's not really a capping inversion, to be honest with you. Here, let me look. It's not a capping inversion that's the issue. It's the timing of the trough coming in across the west. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. There's a lot of stuff I'm looking at here. So you see, in the upper levels of the atmosphere, let's zoom into the south here. Let's look at the GFS model. And the reason why I say that here, okay, let's go into Monday evening. So Monday afternoon, let's go Monday afternoon, about noon time frame, okay? Let's just click on southwestern Arkansas, just a random spot here. And this is going to be a sounding, okay? This is what we call a sounding. And you see in the sounding here, hopefully you guys can see this, is that you see this red line and then this green line. This is the apparent temperature in the red line, and this is the apparent dew point in the green line, or what the surface dew point would be. And you see here this is toward the surface, toward the bottom of this graph, and you can see how the lines are apart from each other. That's not really a temperature inversion. That is open space for convection to develop. There's no capping inversion there at all. Now there is up into the upper levels, but that doesn't really matter when you're talking about, the hail growth zone is still there in the mid to low level latitudes there, or the mid to low levels. So we're not really talking about a capping inversion on Monday, at least in southwestern Arkansas. Now, if I move farther south into, say, northeast Texas and take a sounding here, it's still the same thing. We're not seeing a capping inversion at the surface. It is maybe in the mid to upper levels there's a capping inversion, but again, the hail growth zone is still there. So we're not seeing that. Decape around 430, it's pretty intense for this time of year. So especially considering we're getting into early January. So, oh, excuse me, that. Okay, let me take another sounding. That was on Sunday, guys. I messed up. Okay, so you are correct. There is a capping inversion. Okay, I do apologize. I do apologize. I was looking at the wrong day. Okay, I made my own mistake. I caught up with my own mistake. Yes, you are correct. There is a capping inversion. I do apologize. Yes, there is one across most of the low and mid levels on Monday across southwestern Arkansas. But what I do think is that the 250 millibar winds, as they move east with that trough, are going to overcome that capping inversion. You are correct by evening time frame. So yes, you are correct. I do apologize. I'm. uh, can you can get out of my live now if you're going to talk about clickbaiting. Thank you though. There's no clickbaiting about this storm. Remember when there's a lot of people talking about, and I want to address this while I'm on live too. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you guys are thinking I'm clickbaiting stuff, guys, you have to get the information out there to as many people as possible. And what I do to do that is when I put my titles as there's an intense storm coming and you have 8 inches of rain in Northern California. Well, you tell me whether or not 8 inches of rain is intense when you see it over a 2 day period. Now, that's a pretty intense storm in my definition of an intense storm. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that is intense. So that's why I would put that, for example, in my title. Now, when somebody says I'm clickbait because I put major storm coverage on here and I talk about severe weather outbreak and heavy snow, well, there's a severe weather outbreak because we have an enhanced risk, probably even maybe a moderate risk going into the day one outlook. And then we have heavy snow on the northwest side that could lead to over 6 inches of snow. So that's a major storm itself. And I know a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago at least, there was somebody on here, quite a few people that were saying that I was clickbaiting and saying, like this isn't that big of a deal. Well, there was a lot of fatalities with the cold air. We had 50 to 60, even 70 below wind chills, guys, in Montana. And you look it up yourself on Google. You look it up by yourself on Google. There was several, dozens of fatalities from that system, from people getting stranded in their cars from the snow and the blizzard conditions in the Midwest and the Northeast and the Ohio Valley. And yeah, there were several fatalities with that with that system, with the cold air and getting stranded in the snow. So and there's no reason that people have to say that I'm clickbaiting because if there is an intense storm coming, I'm going to be putting that information out there to keep as many people safe as possible. So that's all I'm going to say about it. And again, if you think I'm clickbaiting, just don't come to my live stream. That's all I say. All right, so looks like here I'm in Toronto, Canada. Are we going to have a storm? Yeah, it looks like Toronto, Canada. You're going to be on the rain side of this system. It does look like um, it does look like heavier rain for Toronto, Canada. Looking at the GFS model, looks like the thunderstorm activity will be close, but I think that'll be farther south across the Ohio Valley. I think that the heavier rain threat will set up across lower Michigan here, parts of Pennsylvania, Ohio, down there towards Columbus, Toledo, Cincinnati to be exact, around the Detroit area, and then again, yeah, Toronto, Montreal. This will mainly be a rain event for you. It does look like maybe some cold air on the backside toward the middle of the week could lead to some light snow or some flurries out there. Um, but that's about it. Looking at the Canadian model shows the system again producing all rain in Toronto, maybe some lighter snow on the backside. It's not going to be a lot of snow, a dusting at most, maybe a half an inch according to this model, but we're not seeing a lot. Let's kind of look at this. Yeah, maybe a half an inch of snow or so on the backside of the system, but again, that's just one model run. We're still trying to get more data in here as the system's coming into the West Coast here today. So we'll continue to watch that as we get closer. Will Lower Michigan get a snowstorm next week? I don't think so. I don't think so. No, the Lower Michigan is not going to get a snowstorm next week. If you do get a snow, I guess if you consider a half inch to an inch of snow a snowstorm, then I guess you could say that. But at least if you're looking at the Canadian model, now the GFS is not really showing much moisture on the backside of the system, so there may just be enough left over for flurries and light snow showers, maybe a dusting to a half inch, but we're not seeing a big snow for Lower Michigan in the into next week. No. So hopefully that answers your question out there. Elizabeth says, will any thunderstorms make it to West Virginia or will we just see rain? Okay, let me go to the NAM model because this is already in view, I do believe. Let's look at 0Z. I don't know how far this goes. Let me look. Okay, so West Virginia, yeah, you could see some thunderstorms maybe in southern West Virginia, getting into western Virginia itself, eastern Kentucky, but I think mainly just some general rain and some maybe rumbles of thunder. But with regards to lightning and thunder and heavy rain out there altogether, I don't think we're going to see anything like that. If we do, it won't be severe. So, but I think the higher chances of any thunderstorms per se are across southern West Virginia with this system going into mainly Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night. So this won't be moving through West Virginia until about Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night, at least with the potential for showers and a few thunderstorms. I don't think it's going to be widespread thunderstorms, though, into West Virginia. Again, the severe weather threat will be well to the south. Chattanooga, at the Atlanta Metro, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Panama City. And we'll just see maybe the Western Carolinas is as far north as that severe weather may get as we get towards that Tuesday, Wednesday time frame before we see that cold front move off the East Coast and into the Western Atlantic into that time frame. Eric says I would be willing. Yeah, I do need moderators. If you guys want to be moderators, yes, Eric, you can. I will. If you are going to be here on most of my live streams and my videos and stuff, you can be a moderator for sure. I'll have to. So yeah, just let me know for sure if you want to be a moderator, Eric, and I'll definitely will be putting you on there for that if you want to. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, I like the YouTube channel. I'm here. I'm here. Well, he says thank or he or she says thanks. Well, thank you for joining. Definitely appreciate it. That's a cool YouTube channel name. William Spann says, what you say is true. It has been nonstop severe weather somewhere every day. Yes, there's been lots of dangerous weather, guys. I mean, I'm not clickbaiting when I say there's, heavy rain or flooding or severe weather or big snow. I mean, there was a lot of people that lost their lives because of the weather. I mean, there was lots of people. So we're not just saying this just to say it. We're saying this to keep as many people safe as possible out there, and especially going into Monday. Again, another dangerous day ahead potentially with some, possibly some life-threatening severe weather across the deep south and into the portions of the southeast Monday, Tuesday, and into Wednesday. It does look like here on this model, and look at all the heavy rain, guys, across the deep south here. Let me zoom in. Southeast. Yeah, look at the heavy rain across the Arquitects and across portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama here. This is going from now through midnight time frame on January 4th on Wednesday morning. In the blue shaded colors, that's about 1 to 2 inches worth of rain. Once you get into the pinks and purples here, that's about 2 to 4 inches worth of rain. So that's centered around Jackson, Mississippi, getting it toward Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, and then back over here into Shreveport, Baton Rouge, Monroe, Louisiana, Alexandria, Louisiana, Little Rock, Memphis, and then potentially a little swath here into western Kentucky, downstate Illinois here near Carbondale, Paducah, Kentucky, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, just south of St. Louis, just to name a few spots, Evansville, Indiana. So we'll watch that going forward. Again, just one model run. We'll see. Eric says, I've been subscribed for quite a while and will show up to your lives when I'm on. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I definitely will be putting you in for my for being a moderator. Definitely, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll be putting you in. Adder says, yeah, we don't want to repeat on Monday. Find a separate way to get warnings. Yes, find, if you have a weather radio, you can have that. That's very handy in getting weather warnings, whether it's a flash flood warning, a tornado warning, or a severe thunderstorm warning. Definitely multiple ways to receive warnings out there. If you guys have, local TV station that could help you out as well, that's a good way to do it. There's lots of ways to do it. Just make sure you have a way to get warnings. You have a smartphone that can alert you if you're sleeping. This is going to be an overnight threat. This is going to be a nocturnal threat for severe weather, especially Monday night. The sun still sets a lot faster than we normally see when these severe weather events happen in, say, the spring or summer. So we still want to be safe out there. William says, I will throw my hat in the ring as a moderator, but can't be on every one. That's all right. No, don't worry about it. Yeah, I'll put you on as well, just in case you do come on to some of the live streams in the future. No worries. Rain says, I noticed a lot of. Well, thank you so much, William. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, I took history and all that stuff in high school, and I tried to remember. I think I can remember all the capitals of all 50 states as well. I do believe still to this day. So yeah, I try my best with that. Try my best. If you guys are just joining, press the like button down below. Get all this weather information out to more and more people. Guys, every single one of you guys right now, take time and press the like button down below, guys. It gets all this information out and this discussion out to more and more people here. I know this is not really an organized discussion. We're just kind of talking about this, and that, but I'm just kind of answering some questions that you guys have about the severe weather threat, the snowstorm side of this. Where's winter at, So if you guys want to ask any questions out there, just let me know. The live chat's open to anyone, everyone. Hit the subscribe button down below, notification bell. Most of the time I have a pretty organized live stream, but this time was kind of a spur of the moment event, kind of just like, hey, I want to go live this evening. So I didn't really think of it until about 6 o'clock. So William, I already have a tag, man. I have it's all your weather coverage. I think that's pretty swift, ain't it? All your weather coverage, weather on the go, all your weather coverage. I don't think I want to change that though, to be honest with you. I definitely think that's a good motto though. You came up with a good motto, but I don't think I want to change all your weather coverage though. I think that's a good motto to keep. Let's see. Who else is in here? Well, thanks so much, William. I just saw your chat from earlier as well about my thumbnails. Rico says, Happy New Year, sir. I got to go celebrate. Love your channel. Thank you so much for joining, Rico. If you're still here, again, thanks so much for joining this evening. Happy New Year to you and everyone here on the live stream. Definitely much appreciated. Again, guys, Happy New Year and Happy 2023 to everybody here in the next few hours. We're going to be moving into 2023 on a good note. So thank you guys so much for joining. Melissa, thank you for joining the live stream. How much rain will impact Northeast Indiana? Great question. Let's go up here towards northern United States. Again, we could look at any model. I mean, there's so many models, guys. The one that I trust the most right now would be probably the Canadian. We're going to go. The Canadian has been pretty consistent over the last couple of days. Even the European model has been kind of wavering with that track of the low and the at least the snow line with this system over the past couple of days. The Canadian's been kind of like, I'm going to go right here. So it's kind of been pretty spot on. It hasn't moved much the last couple of days. And again, meteorologists and a lot of weather people out there say, weathermen say, or weather women say, there's, if you see consistency in the models, you go with the consistency. You don't go with the inconsistency. So I've been seeing consistency in the Canadian model the last few days, or at least the last couple of days anyway, or I'm running with that model right now. So northeastern Indiana, it looks like a couple inches is a good bet. 2 to 3 inches of rain over the next several days from now all the way to about January 4th. So the first 4 days of January. Now, it's not going to rain every single day. There's going to be many dry hours, but it looks like the wettest day for you in northeastern Indiana will probably be on Monday night into Tuesday morning. Most of this rain is going to fall overnight for you going in towards Indiana there, especially northeastern Indiana. Yeah, I'm going to have a new video coming out here in the morning tomorrow, 9 a.m. Moon says, has there been anywhere in the United States not affected by these weather storm patterns? No, there has. Everybody at some point gets affected. When you have such a big weather system moving in, for example, let's kind of broaden the view out again. Let's go to the North American view. And when you have such a big weather system here, and you see the jet stream across the entire United States, you have all that moisture coming into the southwestern United States, the cold air to the north, somebody is still going to get affected by this. And I guess to say if anybody's not as affected by this would be Florida, to be honest with you. Florida doesn't get too much here from these systems because they're farther north, because the jet stream's a little farther north. but Florida still gets affected because even, a couple of weeks ago, they got affected by that Siberian Express here, a disruption of that polar vortex moving south and east. And it caused 40s and 30s for highs in north central Florida during that period, the height of that event. So that even got affected down there. That's the state of Florida got affected down there by that. Sully says, greetings. We are starved for moisture in Lincoln, Nebraska. Any chance we get anything here? Yes, yes, and yes. Let me look exactly where Lincoln, Nebraska is. I do believe it's in like east central Nebraska, but I do want to be sure. All right, just give me a moment here to get my bearings on where this is. Yeah, just south and west of Omaha. So southeastern Nebraska. You're going to get some pretty decent snow out of this as we go in towards the next couple of days here. Let me look at this. The rainfall here, you're going to get some decent rain there, maybe half inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain. Snowfall, at least on the Canadian model, the one I like so far. Pretty heavy snow to the northwest side of the system. Is pretty bullish on the snow here. I'm not really buying into the 2 feet. It just shows the swath of snow has been pretty consistent. Maybe an inch of snow there in Omaha on the back side of the system. Maybe an inch of snow on the backside near Lincoln, but the heavier snow to the north and west. The GFS is pretty consistent with the European guidance as well. Looking at the rainfall from this in Lincoln, it looks like you're going to be mainly in the dry sector of this system. You're going to be in the dry slot in the Lincoln area. So maybe some rain, but the Canadian model is showing. Well, what did I do? The Canadian model is showing maybe half an inch, 3/4 of an inch of rain at the most. The heaviest rain will be off to your east, so that dry slot will be moving up into Kansas. But if this system lifts farther to the north, which it could, because that snowpack is getting eaten up hour by hour with all this warm temperatures moving into the Midwest, this system will move farther to the north. A lot of these low pressure systems like to move across areas in the gradients between snowpack and no snowpack, and that's where we're seeing here across the Midwest going in towards next week. The farther north that snowpack gets, the farther north the potential for this low to get, because as that big open warm sector and moist sector of that, all those dew points and temperatures rising well into the unseasonable levels, farther and farther to the north if that occurs. Melissa says, thank you for joining, Melissa. Thanks for asking that question. Great question. Stormy, thank you for joining. Happy New Year's Eve to Stormy and all. Thank you very much for joining. Man, I feel really bad for those people in Buffalo. Man, that's rough getting all the snow and storms like this. Yeah, a lot of lake effect snow lately for Buffalo and really all of the lakes. I don't think most of the lakes have been touched by some lake effect snow already this year. Lake Superior has, Lake Michigan has, Huron, Erie, all those lakes. Yeah, they have had a lot of lake effect snow lately. That is for sure. Eric says, Oklahoma got hammered with record-breaking cold last week, and this week we are setting close to record highs. Yes, talk about a rebound. That is for sure. Yeah, looking down here to Oklahoma. Yeah, it's a turnaround. That is for sure. Let's move this down towards Oklahoma here. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, the last few days it's been pretty warm, and it continues to stay that warm. Look at here Monday afternoon. We could be in the 60s to near 70 here through much of the state of Oklahoma, Texas, the Arklatex here into Arkansas, Louisiana. And again, guys, I'm not ruling out an 80-degree high across New Orleans, Houston, Brownsville, Corpus Christi here, right along coastal Texas into southern Louisiana and southern Mississippi, Alabama. Maybe an 80-degree high going into Monday, January 2nd. And let's see on Tuesday what we got. Yeah, maybe another 80-degree there. We might have back-to-back 80-degree highs in New Orleans Monday and Tuesday early next week. Wow. Pretty impressive. Thank you so much, Stormy. Yeah, we all love your hard work, Weather on the Go. Well, thank you so much, Stormy, for joining again. Yeah, I try to put all this information and data together for you guys overnight. I spend all night long sometimes putting this together for you guys for quite a while. So, and especially with those morning videos that I post at 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time. I'll have another one tomorrow. We'll be doing, I'll be talking about those upcoming weather patterns through January. We're going to go step by step every week through January to figure out what the weather pattern could look like, and I'll be updating you guys on that. But there's no surprise that there's probably going to be a warm start to January, but I'll have more on the end of January, especially in my videos as well. I'm going in here into tomorrow. Every first of the month, I do a video on the outlining the long range pattern through that month. So, for example, if it's the 1st of February, I talk about February, or if it's the 1st of March, talk about March. So, every single first of the month, I talk about that, kind of outlining the weather pattern week by week. I'm in north central Alabama and watch these tornado prone systems like a hawk. there's a lot of severe weather down there, and it's going to be picking up. I knew there's going to be some type of out of season severe weather event here. There's already been one or two this year that have been higher end severe weather events out of season as well, and looks like that continues for the foreseeable future until we get some of that cold air that really rushes down from Canada and kind of suppresses that severe weather potential. But until then, yeah, it's going to be pretty rough for a while. A lot of heavy rain and storms and severe weather. Elizabeth says, your knowledge and dedication is much appreciated. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth. Definitely appreciate you joining on the live stream here this evening. Happy New Year's to you. William says, yes, I can't even imagine how many hours you put into these videos. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, lots of manpower for sure. There's a lot of hours that go into that, doing all the research and data and then putting the video together itself. There's one thing to make the video, but then I have to produce the video as well by doing the video itself. So it takes, a while as well. And then I have to publish it onto YouTube. So it's a process, but I definitely enjoy doing that and doing it every morning for you guys to keep you informed on the weather pattern. So appreciate it. Happy New Year. It's always 9 a.m. It's always 9 a.m. William, yes. All my videos are mainly around 9:30 in the morning, so it's about mid morning usually. Yes, so that's what I do. Valerie Smith, thank you for joining. Valerie Smith says, yes, watching like a hawk. Us too. Yes, there's severe weather potential here early on in the week. Again, these are your probabilities here for day 3. You got that 5% shading here in the green. That goes all the way up into south central portions of Missouri. This includes Joplin, Springfield, Jefferson City, just south of St. Louis, Cape Girardeau up here into Missouri, portions of Memphis here, getting into Jackson, Mississippi, getting down into southern Louisiana. And then you have portions of Texas, East Texas, getting into southeastern Oklahoma, much of Arkansas, far western portions of Mississippi near the Mississippi River, and then getting down the Mississippi Delta here towards central and southern Louisiana in the yellow shaded color. That's a slight risk for severe weather, and within a 50-mile radius here surrounding that point, that is considered a slight risk for severe weather, probabilities for severe weather as well. And then this would be orange, but for the probabilities, this is red with even a hatched area. You see the netting here, that indicates a significant risk for severe weather across portions of Arkansas, mainly along and southwest of Little Rock, into Texarkana, Shreveport, getting into Tyler, Texas, and into far southeastern Oklahoma. And then this is getting just to the north of Houston as well by an hour or two north drive from Houston. We have a significant hatched area for severe weather. That could mean anywhere from widespread 75 plus mile per hour winds and some strong long track tornadoes that could be EF2 or stronger here, as characterized by the Storm Prediction Center going in towards the day on Monday, especially going into Monday night. And then again, this is mainly along and east of I-35 here from the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex on east for the worst of the severe weather here. So if you live in Shreveport, Texarkana, Tyler, Texas, or Little Rock, or really anywhere in the severe weather threat here, especially be on high alert going through the day and nighttime even on Monday. I think Monday night will be the peak of this event. Valerie says, thank you so much for all you do. You're definitely welcome. Thanks for watching my videos and live streams, everyone. And Valerie, you included, thank you so much for doing so. Definitely appreciate it. Happy New Year's to you as well. Stormy says, Stormy's giving me claps. Well, thank you so much, Stormy, for giving me a standing ovation in the chat. Appreciate it. H says, we appreciate your time. Well, thank you so much, H. 3 thumbs up. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think Stormy said to William Span that if you're subscribed, you should get a notification. Yeah, I think you have to still hit the notification bell. I'm not too aware of that, but yeah, I think if you are subscribed, you still have to um, hit the notification bell. I do think to get notified, but I'm not sure. It depends on if you have the notifications on or off on your device that you're using to watch this. H says, please hit the like button. Yes, everybody, right now here in the live stream, hit the like button. We're almost to 100 likes, guys. Let's get over 100 likes here right now. Let's everybody, if you have not pressed the like button, and if it's not showing you pressing the like button on the on the thumbs up button down below, hit it, guys. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button to get all the daily weather forecast updates and the notification bell. All 3, guys. The easiest 3 buttons you'll ever press on YouTube. It's so easy, guys. It's free to do. No, I know you did, Stormy. I'm just saying anybody that hasn't pressed it yet, definitely press the like button down below. Eric says, was it a spring tornado or winter? The spring ones are spicy. You mean spicy like big, stronger tornadoes? It's like a spring type of setup. I know that. Um, let's go through some of the longer range forecasts. This is from the Climate Prediction Center. This is not my map. This is the Climate Prediction Center's weather forecast from January 6th through the 10th time frame here of 2023. This is likely above normal temperatures across most of the lower 48 here in the United States. This covers the Great Lakes, the Midwest, all the way down through the southern and central plains here from Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma to North Texas, and even out west here, at least near normal to slightly above normal temperatures going all the way through the January 10th time frame. Regarding precipitation during that time frame, very wet conditions out west regarding to that heavy rainfall, flooding rain across California, alleviating some of that drought out there. You have the mountain snow out west as well, and then again, maybe some precipitation across Texas, getting into Oklahoma, Kansas, and the Missouri Valley here, where we also desperately need some rain, especially into Kansas, Nebraska, and Oklahoma, where we're in that severe, extreme, and exceptional drought across these areas. And then we have drier conditions across most of the Great Lakes, the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Southeast, and then kind of an area up here into the Dakotas of some drier conditions to get into that second week in January as well, looking kind of longer range. And then going even farther from that, I don't think I have it though. Let me see. No, I do not. But going farther from that, I do think this warm weather will stick around for the most part. We'll slide this above average anomaly farther to the east. We may start to see some cooler anomalies moving into the Pacific Northwest going into the 3rd week in January, and that could mark the difference between a warm start to January and the second half of January that looks a lot colder. And that could be the difference between what we're seeing now and the end of January with more snow than rain. So we'll watch that as we get closer. Thank you so much, Matthew, for giving me the thumbs up. H says, yeah, praying for anybody in the path of any of these storms. Yes, definitely praying for the people in the path of the storm. Well, thank you so much, Matthew. Yeah, one of the first things I do is hit the like button. Western Mojave right here, right now. Thank you so much for joining. Definitely appreciate it. Happy New Year's to you, Matthew, as well. Again, guys, just joining, press that like button, guys. Gets all this information and this weather discussion out to more and more people. Thank you for getting us over 100 likes. Let's try and get to 200 likes now, guys. Let's try and do it. My ultimate goal is to get 1,000 likes here this evening, so let's see if we can do it, guys. Thank you so much. Mississippi gets so much more horrible weather in the winter, even worse than Alabama. Yeah, Mississippi's lately, at least the last couple of years, I do know that they've had a lot of severe weather events there. There's been some cold snaps that have gotten down there with the Arctic air, and then you've had some snow down there, some ice storms. Yeah, Mississippi's kind of in that zone where you can get a little bit of everything sometimes, just like the Midwest. So, very interesting point of view there. Brian says, "Thanks for the kind and caring updates. You're very welcome. Thanks for joining, Brian. Thanks for joining, Brian. Again, Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so much for joining this evening, taking time out of your day to join. All you guys, thank you so much, and everybody, Happy New Year. We're just about to ring the New Year in here in just a few hours." John says, "We have a lot of snow here in Reno, Nevada. How much snow do you have on the ground, John? Do you know how much snow you got on the ground in Reno, Nevada? Send in that report if you do. Definitely like to know how much snow is on the ground. I know sometimes it's tough because, um, blowing and drifting snow is tough too because it's hard to measure because it's kind of blowing and drifting around. You could have a 2 foot snow drift, and then a couple feet away, you could have only an inch of snow because it drifted away. So hard to measure that sometimes. Oh, okay. Yeah, Stormy says, "No, I was. It was me reporting that I did, and I'm glad to do so. Hoping everyone in the path stays safe in the storm's path." Well, thank you so much, Stormy. Happy New Year to you as well. Happy New Year to you as well, and everybody. Um, Again, here looking at the satellite view, that system is coming in across the desert southwest, bringing all of that deep moisture into California, Nevada, Arizona, here in Utah. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing. Lots of moisture moving in. Heavy rain, flooding rain, even down to Southern California. Places that don't get a lot of heavy rain, like Los Angeles down here, and even Southern Nevada. Las Vegas doesn't get a lot of rain a lot of the time. So definitely a welcome sight, more of an El Nino pattern. We really needed this pattern for quite some time, so that's a good news. We just don't need all the rain and snow at once because that could cause some issues with travel and flooding issues. But definitely could use some heavier rain, some heavier steady rains at times across those areas. William says, "I would send out a link to Weather on the Go to everybody I know, but few are really interested in the deep dives. That is Yeah, well, there's a lot of people out there that don't like the scientific part of this, and I understand that. That's why I try to put it out in simpler terms for people to understand. Like when I'm talking about a trough, I kind of that's why I kind of what am I trying to say? Like when I talk about a trough across the western United States, I say what I mean, a cold pocket of air aloft, or just try to use different wording so people try to understand it. And that's why I kind of go back over the same stuff that I'm talking about, kind of re emphasize what I'm talking about so people understand what I'm saying. Because it may make sense to me, but not to other people. So that's kind of why I go back and put it kind of in layman's terms. Now, not a lot of people like the word layman's terms because it sounds weird, but you know, if you don't know what I'm talking about with the ridges and troughs and occluded fronts and all that stuff out there, I get it, but I try to put it out there so people understand what I'm talking about. Oh, gotcha. Stormy says, "Got to see some healthy snowflakes for a while during the last cold snap here in NCT." What's NCT? What's that? I'm not sure what that is. Is that somewhere in Texas with a T? Does the T stand for Texas? I'm not sure what that is. There's that Connecticut, North Carolina. What is that? Tony says, "Happy New Year, everyone." Well, Happy New Year, Tony. Thanks for joining. Again, hit that like button, Tony, if you have not already. Same thing for you, John and Stormy and William and everybody joining. Again, hit that like button if you have not already. You might have already, but if you haven't, hit it. Hit the subscribe button as well. Notification bell. I have a new video coming out tomorrow. Oh, North Central Texas. Okay, see, look at it. Look at me. I'm not good with acronyms sometimes. So, see, even Stormy had to put it in layman's terms for me. Yeah, I now I get what you mean, Stormy. Eric says, "I am a weather nerd, so I tend to like when you use technical terminology." Yeah, there's some people that do like it. I'm just saying that for the general public out there, a lot of people don't understand it. So that's why I try to look at it both ways. I try to keep the scientific part in it, but also kind of put it out there in simpler fashion as well when I talk about the weather patterns. That's what I try and do anyway. Alrighty, guys, let's see here. Again, if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, the live chat is open here for a little while longer. So if you guys want to answer any or ask any questions, I can answer them for you. Otherwise, again, you guys can enjoy the live stream here. We're just kind of doing an open weather discussion this evening. Again, just a last minute spur of the moment event that I did. Think about saying, hey, I want to go live this evening. And, here we are. So usually my live streams are a lot more focused and a lot more organized than they are here today. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up of what's upcoming here, getting into early January. And again, I will focus my video a lot more on what we're getting in January than I am here on this live. Valerie Smith, weather geek here. Hey, we're all weather geeks, including me. There you go. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. William Spann, there you go. We're all in the same boat now. We're all in the same boat with that. We're all weather geeks. Alice, thanks for joining. Happy New Year's and have a good time. Thank you so much, Alice, for joining. Happy New Year to you as well. Welcome to 2023 in the next few hours. Thank you for joining. Eric says I have been 100% prepared for every major storm because of YouTube. Well, that's good. Thank you guys for joining, and again, hopefully we can keep you informed, all of us YouTubers out there, and again, hopefully we can keep you informed in the days, weeks, years, and months to come. So I feel like anyway, that's where the weather is heading mainly, is on YouTube. I mean, that is the modern era of weather. That's what I think anyway. You guys feel the same way, that YouTube is kind of progressing to more of the modern era of weather forecasting is on YouTube? Maybe that's just me, but very interesting to say the least. Sorry, guys, I'm just looking at some data here. Oh, yeah, it looks like, what did they pick up? 8 inches in California. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people in California, a lot of runoff from some of the water here. I'm looking at some videos. Crazy. Not used to a lot. Again, and with the drought out there as well, you think, well, with the drought, the water should sink right into the ground very easily, seep right into the ground because it's so dry, but not so much, because if you have a dry ground, even if you have cracks in the ground, yes, some of it will, but if it comes down at a heavy enough clip, say for, an inch per hour rainfall or snowfall rate, especially with the rain, because the rain, doesn't stick, it runs off, and the snowfall sticks, that, it's not going to all run into the ground. It's going to be standing and ponding on the roadways, especially with the concrete out there and blacktop and stuff like that. All of that, it's going to be running off and then into the storm drains, and then even have those lower lying areas in the valleys and the creeks and streams and riverbeds and stuff like that. The mountainous areas and hills, a lot of areas for that water to collect out west. Eric, there you go. There you go. Rain says, what is this a repeat of, because there could be a moderate risk? It's not really a repeat of anything. It's just kind of another storm bringing a potential for a moderate risk. I don't think there's going to be a moderate risk as right now. If there were to be one, it would be on the day 1 outlook in a couple of days. This is we're looking at day 3 here. This is day 3 from the Storm Prediction Center. This is the Storm Prediction Center's outlook here for day 3. So I don't think they would add a moderate risk on day 2. I could be wrong. I've seen it before. I've even seen a moderate risk on a day 3 outlook. It's been very rare, but I've seen it. Very rare I've seen a moderate risk on day 3. I think that happened a long time ago. It's been quite a while ago, but yeah, I've seen it before. So I'll leave this up for you guys. Again, the brighter the color, and especially if you're in this hatched area that we call it, or this netting type of area, significant severe weather is likely as we go into Monday afternoon. Monday evening into the overnight hours into Tuesday morning. So definitely take a look at this into your general area of the state, and you can see where you could get some severe weather. The darker the color. So if you go from green to yellow, that's higher coverage of severe weather, and then from yellow to red, that's a higher coverage yet, and a higher probability yet for severe weather going into the day on Monday, Monday night, and going into Tuesday morning. Alrighty, let's see. Again, I apologize, guys. I'm trying to pull up the chat again. It keeps on closing on me. That's what I'm thinking. Yes. Yes, Matthew says, there's too many hills, so the water runs immediately downhill into a valley and then creates a small river immediately, even with a quarter inch. Yeah, if a quarter inch of rain falls very quickly, it's going to be causing some flooding issues for sure. Yes, I do agree with that. Again, guys, just joining, press the like button down below, everyone. We're getting just close, ever so closer to 150 likes, guys. Let's try and get to 500 likes at least on this live stream, guys. That's my goal. Let's get to 500 likes here on the live stream. Brian says, problem with the southern states, many are not equipped for very cold temperatures, and the Louisiana, Georgia, Michigan, I think you mean Mississippi, Alabama areas seems to be getting more tornadoes, also not prepared. Yeah, that's why we try and prepare you here on YouTube, so hopefully we can, keep everybody safe out there. That's our job to do. That is our job to do. It looks like, what is going on? I don't know, guys. This chat on YouTube keeps refreshing for me very quickly today. I don't know why. I apologize. I'm trying to get to everybody's questions, comments, and concerns, but for some reason it keeps closing me out. William Span says, yes, SPC keeps upgrading intensity and the severe weather zone keeps inching to the east. A little bit. Yeah, it's kind of in the same area that they had the day 4, 5, and 6 risks, though. Okay, yeah, you meant Mississippi. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I figured. I think with the acronym you meant MS instead of MI. MI, that's Michigan. MS would be Mississippi. Um. Oh, last January only had an enhanced risk. Only one enhanced risk. That's it. I'll have to look back at that. I'm not sure about that. Tony says, seeing a lot of rain for the Northeast. What's the weather in Maine going to be this upcoming Thursday? My grandson is having surgery. Oh no, your grandson's having surgery. Did you talk about the Northeast? Are you talking about this weekend? Let me look. Again, it just refreshed. My bad. Seeing a lot of rain in the Northeast. What's the weather in Maine going to be this coming Thursday? Okay. Thursday. In Maine, right? Okay, let's move this over toward Maine here. On Thursday, in Maine, it is going to likely be chilly for sure. You're talking about the state of Maine. Looks like if you're in northern Maine, it'll be in the middle to upper teens for highs on Thursday. And then going into southern Maine, you'll be near 30 degrees or in the upper 20s at the warmest. And looks like for precipitation wise, it's going to be dry for the most part. Maybe a few flurries on the backside, but nothing that's going to stick and amount to anything big. No blockbuster snow events or anything. So you should be good to travel on Thursday across parts of Maine. All Maine's going to get probably from this event is mostly some heavier rainfall. Very chilly rain, but some heavier rain. Maybe if you do have to worry about anything, I do want to caution you this. During the day on Wednesday, Maine is going to be in the 40s and perhaps 50 degrees. So in the 40s and 50s on Wednesday. As this cold front and system moves through, it's going to drop sharply back to the teens and 20s for highs in Maine. There could be a flash freeze type of setup here. So we'll watch that going in towards that time frame. So if anything is of concern, it would be a flash freeze where you have water on the road that actually turns to ice a little bit in some spots, especially with the ponding of the water before it dries up in parts of Maine as that cold air comes rushing in on the backside of the system. William, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about there, man. Emmanuel says, will Tulsa get severe weather and a few tornadoes possible? Let's look at Tulsa here. I know Tulsa's in northeastern Oklahoma. So Tulsa's like on up over here into northeastern Oklahoma. If you guys can see me circling that right now, that is generally around where Tulsa is. And you're asking specifically, Emmanuel says, will they get severe weather? The severe weather threat for Tulsa is you guys are in a marginal risk on Monday. This is farther to your east and especially southeast. So far southeastern Oklahoma, and those couple of counties far southeast Oklahoma there before you get into Arkansas, Texas, or Louisiana, that is where we're seeing the more significant area with that 30% hatched area for a strong long track tornado, damaging winds well over 60 or 70 miles an hour, and potentially even some large hail over quarter size as well going through that time frame. That'll be on Monday. Then that moves farther east on Tuesday across portions of Mississippi, Alabama, western Georgia, southern Tennessee, and getting into eastern Louisiana as well. Let me actually use this model, or actually this site here, because this is actually better for me to show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so you're talking about Tulsa. Are they going to have severe weather? So let's look at the GFS first here. It looks like the storms initiate just off to the east of the Tulsa area. So along and east of Tulsa, pretty much, as we get into late Monday afternoon and going into Monday evening here early this next week. You're very welcome, Tony. We just didn't want to see any heavy snow. Yeah, you're no heavy snow for you. You were a-okay with that. Just a few flurries, maybe a flash freeze here with the ponding of the water on the roadways and stuff like that, with the cold air rushing in on the backside, dropping into the 20s and teens for highs on Thursday in some of those areas, especially in northern Maine. Could be leading to some slick spots. So definitely watch out for black ice out there and some icy spots. But other than that, not too much to worry about. Just bundle up if you go outside, that's for sure. Drew says, so in November, we had a moderate risk, and then we also had one earlier in this month, a moderate risk as well. Yeah, it's been pretty active across the Deep South, for sure. I agree with you, Drew. Yeah, you're welcome, William. You're welcome. Yeah, I included the polar graphic as well in the morning video because it actually is going to become increasingly more active into southern Canada and then eventually the lower 48, I do believe, into the end of January. And we're going to activate a little bit more of the subtropical jet, but the polar jet stream is going to become a little more active as well. And that is what's going to lead to possibly an active period of weather, which finally could lead us into full-fledged winter across the lower 48 that everybody's been wondering about, with more snowstorms and a lot more cold air finally getting as far south as the Gulf Coast again, potentially, depending on how cold that air is, with at least that freezing line going that far south, going in towards that time frame, towards the end of January and the first week perhaps into February. But again, a lot of fine tuning between now and then. Again, we're a few weeks out from that, so we'll watch it. Everybody in the live stream, guys, keep pressing that like button, guys. Do not stop pressing the like button. I want to see this like button go crazy over the next few minutes, guys. Let's hit that like button. Let's get it up to at least 500 likes, guys. Keep hitting the like button down below. Hit the subscribe button to get all my daily weather forecast updates. I cover Canada, the United States, the tropics, everything in between. And again, I hit the notification bell so you get all of my videos here right at the tip of your thumb. Again, every time you get on your phone or your computer or something like that, when you hit the notification bell, it notifies you when I do these live streams and videos in the morning. So definitely do all that, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Happy New Year. Let me see. I don't think the NAM doesn't go that far yet, does it? Actually, it does now, doesn't it? Okay. Okay, so now let's look at the NAM model. This is interesting now. So this is a mesoscale model and how we see the setup here on Monday. So let's track this across the southern United States. So this is going into Monday morning now. This is around mid to late morning. We can start to see some scattered showers here, or at least some sprinkles trying to develop across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, Texarkana, getting down through Shreveport, western Louisiana, down toward Houston here as well, Monday morning into early Monday afternoon. This is mainly just what we call warm advection type of, with all the, type of weather pattern where we have southern Gulf of Mexico moisture moving up into the United States. Warm, moist air here at the surface with temperatures warming into the 60s, dew points in the 60s as well, perhaps approaching 70 degrees. And again, and as we go into the late afternoon and evening, we're going to start to see these storms bubbling up. And on the southern side of this is more concerning here. We're going to have a squall line develop across portions of Missouri into northwestern and western Arkansas. But the southern side of the squall line will be a little bit more broken. That's where we could have some supercell thunderstorms going into the day on Monday afternoon and into Monday night, where we have the peak of this. And again, this could develop more embedded supercells along that squall line across southern Arkansas, portions of Missouri, or portions of Louisiana rather, into far east Texas, down toward Houston, Shreveport, Little Rock, and then over here toward Memphis, perhaps western portions of Mississippi going into the overnight hours. And that will push east as a squall line of heavy rain, damaging winds, and large hail, with some embedded QLCS tornadoes potentially going in towards Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening across the southeast. Stormy says, thank you so much for the live weather on the go. You got to run and enjoy some festivities. Everyone have a great evening and be safe. Thank you so much for joining Snowies. Thank you so much for joining Stormy. Definitely appreciate it. Again, have a safe and happy new year. Again, welcome to 2023. Thank you so much for joining. Brian says, sadly, I get almost no notifications. Oh, you don't? You didn't? Well, you got to press the notification bell so you get all those notifications. Thank you so much, Stormy. Yeah, William. Yeah, basically it is an atmospheric river. That's for sure. Yeah, that jet stream, the upper level jet streak, is pretty powerful with that system. You've probably seen it in some of my videos. A lot of moisture moving in from the eastern Pacific Ocean into the west coast. That is for sure. Valerie says, "Do you think they will raise the risk in Alabama?" Let me look here. What Alabama's? Are you talking about Monday or Tuesday? Because Monday, the Alabama, you're not in a severe weather risk on Monday. For Tuesday, yeah, I think it's possible. I think they upgrade it potentially to an enhanced risk, a 30% enhanced risk. Central Alabama, I could see that for Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, and then getting down south and east to Jackson, Mississippi. I could see that as it gets closer. There could be a smaller enhanced risk type of day on Tuesday. That is something we'll keep an eye on as well as more information comes in. Oh, you do? Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Sometimes it's delayed, Brian. I'm not sure. I know for me, I even have notification on my phone for some of the stuff I do as well, and it notifies me like 2 days later. I'm not sure about that too. It could just be a delay. Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, William, it's not going to be the crazy high, extreme instability days or anything like that. It's just going to be more of 1,000 to maybe 1,500 joules per kilogram instability, unless you're along the immediate Gulf Coast. That's why I'm thinking we're not going to see a lot of hail from this system, mainly just damaging winds and tornadoes because we have all that wind energy. We just don't have the all that instability to develop those really deep, tall hail cores with these systems that are, 50, 60,000 foot tall storm tops or nothing crazy like that, like we see in the middle of summer, but still pretty impressive setup though for this time of year. Okay, yeah, Eric says my notifications are delayed unless I manually refresh. Yeah, that's probably the case for a lot of people. I know it is for me even on my phone, but yeah, that is for sure. Brian says, yeah, we just got over some 80-mile-per-hour winds in Panhandle and Nebraska a while back. Very harsh. Yeah, that's pretty intense winds. That's almost like microburst type winds. um, yeah, that's pretty strong. You can get 80-mile-per-hour winds. That's going to do a lot of damage. There is no doubt about that. William says Tuesday looks problematic to me for central Alabama and Mississippi. Correct. Yes. Yes, Tuesday. Here's the risk for Tuesday. That's that 15% shading here for Jackson, Mississippi, getting down towards Gulfport, Mississippi, getting down into Mobile, Alabama, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Chattanooga, the Atlanta metro, at least the western side of the Atlanta metro area, and then getting into portions of Louisiana, maybe just near and north of New Orleans going into Tuesday. And this will come out at 2:30 in the morning, 2:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time on January 1st of 2023 tomorrow. That will be their day 3 outlook that comes out at 2:30 in the morning. Storm Prediction Center's outlook. Valerie says the only thing that worries me is that the tornado in November of this year wasn't supposed to happen either. Well, tornadoes and severe weather can happen around the clock any time of year, around the year, so it does not matter where you live or anything. It could happen in Illinois, it could happen in Wisconsin, it could happen in Washington State. It really doesn't matter. Of course, in Washington State, it's a lot less likely, but it still can happen. Brian says trash cans were blocks away and anything not tied down. Really? So it was very windy. Wow. Okay. Yeah, 80 mile per hour. Yeah, that's pretty windy. That will uproot some trees. That will topple trees over. That will do a lot of stuff. I mean, I've seen trampolines get stuck in trees with 80-mile-per-hour winds. That's equivalent to about an EF0 type of tornado as well. You can get EF0 type of tornado winds around 80 to 85 miles an hour too. Yeah, definitely. But we're here to keep you informed, Valerie, so don't be scared about anything. Just be prepared and be safe out there. And again, we'll get through this together. Don't be scared about anything. Yes, those storm chasers do a great job on the ground, giving us the ground truth of all the weather out there. That is for sure. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up here shortly. Again, I thank everybody for joining me here this evening. It's definitely been fun talking to you guys here this evening. Again, a less than ideal weather discussion that I wanted to. I just kind of spur of the moment type of thing. Kind of just wanted to come on here, give you some information here, have you guys ask me questions, put in any comments, questions, concerns, and all that stuff, and then answer you guys on the live stream itself. I do want to know though, if you guys are still in the chat, would you guys be interested in a weather trivia game night? A weather trivia game night here on the live stream. I ask you guys questions. I give you 45 seconds on a clock, and I have the clock counting down to 0. And then once the 45 seconds is up, I give you the answer, and you guys see if you got the answer right and stuff like that. What do you guys think about that? Let me know here in the comment section down below. Brian says subbed and thanks for the info. You're definitely welcome, Brian. Thanks for joining. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to William Spann and Valerie Smith. Thank you so much for joining, Eric. And again, Matthew and everybody, Daniel, Stormy, thank you so much to Elizabeth, Tony, Emmanuel, all you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Rain Maves. All you guys are awesome. Alice. I'm trying to go up the list here to see everybody who joined here today. John, thank you guys so much for joining, and especially here in the live chat. Eric says that would be fun. I would participate. Awesome. Okay, yeah, we might do that here probably on the weekend, probably be Saturday night sometime. Maybe next weekend we'll try that. Yeah, Valerie Smith, you'd like the trivia game night with the questions? I'd ask you guys maybe 100 questions or something tonight, just like for an hour or two, just kind of doing some trivia on here, maybe on the weekend or something. That'd be pretty cool. Brian says, great idea. Also, a weather info poll would be cool. Yeah, definitely would be. Yeah, like for example, like I ask you a question about tornadoes, like how many tornadoes occur in the U.S. per year, and then I give you the like an A, B, C, D type of answer thing, and say for example, it's C is the right answer, and then whatever that answer is, I'll give you more facts on that answer as well too with it. So that'll be cool. Yeah, Melissa Smith. Yeah, no prizes needed. Trivia sounds fun. Yeah, definitely. That would be something to do. Like I said, maybe next weekend or something, or one of the weekends coming up here that aren't active with severe weather. We'll be doing. We could be doing that. Probably Saturday night would be best. Friday or Saturday night. So, because I know a lot more people are off by then, and you could stay up later and do all that stuff. So, it'd probably start around 6, 7 o'clock, to be honest, around the same time that we're doing this tonight. Hey, Bruce. Hey, thanks for joining. Happy New Year to you. Yeah, Valerie's into it. She's like, yes. Thank you so much. William says, I would love that trivia game. Oh, yes. All right. Yeah, that'd be cool. If you guys want to, it'd be different levels of intensity, too. I'd ask some easy questions, some medium, hard type questions, and some very hard, tough questions to answer as well. Kind of give you more knowledge. And it's also kind of educational as well. I felt like, doing something like that would be more educational to kind of get more people involved. Um, and how things work with the weather and like what things mean, like what is a trough, and then I have different, answers A, B, C, D, and then you guys try and see like what you think a trough is and stuff like that. For example, be kind of cool, kind of more educational than anything else. Brian says exactly. General knowledge, weather poll. Yep, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yes, definitely. It would be very educational for sure. Happy New Year to you, Bruce. Thanks for saying Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Happy 2023 to you here tonight. And again, thanks for joining Valerie Smith as well. Yeah, great idea. Weather on the go. Please inform and remind us in daily videos. Maybe. Again, I'm going to be focusing on this weather system, but as we get closer to next weekend, if I decide to do it either Friday or Saturday night, then next weekend, that trivia game, then because it'll take me a while to come up with some questions too, and I'll have to do the answers and all that. If it's 100 questions, it might take me a while, so it might take me a couple of days to get it ready. But yeah, I'll let you know as we get closer. Probably my community tab on my YouTube page. I'll probably be posting when and if I'll be doing that in the coming days here through the week. So keep an eye on that. Matthew says, I got central Kansas covered. All things weather, shelf clouds, straight line winds, hail, freezing rain, ice, everything. Well, there you go. There you go. Bruce says, I'm in on trivia too. Well, there we go. Everybody likes the trivia. Maybe we'll do it then. Maybe we'll try next weekend. If not, the weekend after or something like that. We could try the middle of the week if that works for you guys. I know it's a work night too. We want to do this during time where most people will be on the live stream, so we have as many people answering as possible. And then I shout out an answer, and then, well, actually, I ask the question, and then you guys answer here in the live stream chat, and then I wait 45 seconds, and then I answer it for you guys. I put the answer on the screen. Brian, when in doubt on trivia, pick all the above, lol. There you go. That's all you need, man. I don't think there's going to be all the above, but we'll see. I think it's just going to be straightforward answers. Saturday evening, William Span says, if I know when I can plan my evening to be there, for sure. Yeah, I think it'll probably Saturday evening. Again, Friday evening might work, but Saturday evening will be probably the maximum time frame when everybody will be here in the live stream and doing that as well. So looks like a lot of people are into that trivia stuff. So we'll probably be doing it one of these weekends here. Maybe next weekend, maybe the weekend after, but we'll be doing it probably. Happy New Year's, Brian. Thanks so much. God bless. Stay safe. Alert all. Thank you so much, Brian. Again, we'll have another video for all you guys here in the morning. Go check that out at 9 a.m. Yes, education of audience for sure. 100, Matthew says. Maybe in the future can suggest questions. I got some good questions to ask on here. Again, it'd probably just be like 100 questions a night or something. You're gonna win all the trivia, huh? Yeah, there's gonna be some tough ones. There's no doubt about it. I think in the future I might do a like a tournament style of trivia, maybe like a first round, second round, quarterfinal, semifinal, and then a championship round or something like that. You know, maybe in the future if we get a lot of people who do this and that like the trivia, we'll try it out first. You know, and if it goes well, first couple of times, then I say, well, maybe we'll do like a tournament or round robin style of tournament for like a trivia game or something on here, like every other weekend or something like that. That would be kind of cool. Yeah, maybe once a week or maybe every other weekend or something. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Yeah, I will in advance. It would, William. I'll announce it probably. It'd be say if it's Saturday night and it's this upcoming week, I'll probably put it out like Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon or something like that, or Thursday morning at the latest. Whether or not I'm going to do it, I'll put it at least a couple of days in advance for you, for that. Yeah, nobody else does. I'm just trying to, help educate people. It's really just to, educate people on weather. It's really nothing else than that, to be honest. It's to educate people, and that's why I figured, hey, I thought of that idea. I was like, hey, why not do a trivia game and ask them about that? So, seems like a lot of people like it, so let's try it. Why not? I mean, I guess Melissa, you can, but doesn't mean you're going to be right, right? There might be some questions on here. For example, I might say, complete the sentence like, what is cold air aloft, for example? Or, I mean, that would be kind of a tough thing to say, but like, like, what is a trough? And then just like you have to fill in what the rest of the sentence is, or just something like that, or just it'll be fun. Thermal inversions, freezing fog, all of the above. Well said, Brian. There you go, guys. Yeah, if you guys really like it, you guys have any friends, family that are into the weather, just trivia games in general, even if it's the weather. If they want to get educated more on this, definitely, yeah, those trivia games will probably be on Saturday night for a while, maybe like an hour or two long or something like that. Maybe we'll start at like 6, go to 8 o'clock, or start at 7, go to 9 or 9:30, something like that. It'd be pretty fun. So. No, yeah, for sure, Brian. Yeah, I'll be more specific. I was just kind of giving you an example, though. I was just kind of giving you an example of what I was talking about. That's all. I see your comment down there, William. I'm not going to say that one, but no, you don't have to be right, guys. It's just something fun. Again, don't get hard. Don't be hard on yourself. Again, don't be hard on yourself if you're wrong. Again, it's just kind of a fun educational type of thing to do. With that. So let's go over what we expect as we head into early next week. One more time, we got that severe weather threat here, a marginal, slight, and enhanced risk for severe weather across Arkansas, northeast Texas, northwestern Louisiana. Significant hatched area for damaging winds, large hail, and a strong long track tornado or two, with a few tornadoes likely across the Little Rock, getting back into Texarkana, Shreveport, and into the Tyler, Texas area, along and east of I-35 into northeast Texas. This also covers extreme southeastern Oklahoma. Farther to the east on Tuesday, this includes Chattanooga, getting down to especially along and west of the Atlanta metro area, especially the western side of the Atlanta metro area, getting through Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Gulfport, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, extreme northwest Florida, getting into Jackson, Mississippi, and much of eastern Louisiana here. And then again, as we go long range, we're going to be talking about this system moving across the southern United States, bringing heavy rainfall across the southwest, across the southern United States, going in through the next few days. And we'll be looking upstream for more storms moving in off the west coast and through the United States, going into the middle of January as well. And I'll have that video for you guys at 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time tomorrow morning for you guys for that full January forecast that you guys will be into as we head in towards that time frame. Okay, guys, thank you guys so much for joining again. look forward to that video tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. I'll have that out for you guys as well. Great video coming for you, breaking down week by week January. And again, we'll be forecasting potentially as late as early February as well in that video. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. We'll try to do that trivia game as we head into next weekend or the weekend after. Something educational, something fun to do. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you, William. Thank you, Matthew, Bruce, Brian. Thank you, Eric. Thank you to Valerie and Melissa. Thank you so much to all you guys. And again, all you other guys, all you other people joining. Stormy, thank you to you. And Daniel, thank you everybody else for joining here, the live stream, the live chat. Have a great New Year's, guys. A good start to 2023, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow and beyond. Thank you so much, and have a great day.